I'm Killer Teen Star. Let's get right into the All right, Eliana, you promised me that the teens would connect with me if I did. The teens love
The teens are all about
Keemstar. People are into Keemstar still, right? The teens, they love him or no?
I don't know.
I don't know. Killer Teen Star, I called him. I just realized I forgot.
I remember him, but that's about it.
I completely forgot to even share the show on the website. That's how out of it I am. All right, so I don't know. It was like a week ago now. Eliana, I feel like you must keep up with this shit. Do you keep up with like the H3 kind of stuff?
I used to keep up with it more. I kind of fell off after he started his podcast because it's really bad. At least so you're boring. I don't know.
Telling me you didn't get right into the news because H3 put out this video and they called it Content Nuke. Hasan Piker. It's a content nuke. This is a nuclear assault on Hasan Piker, the guy that everybody said, "Hey Ethan, don't hook up with this guy. He stinks." So now what he's done is he's put out a video. It's an hour and 43 minutes long, and it's telling you, the guy who knew that Hasan Piker stinks, that Hasan Piker stinks. This video is insane. It's an hour and 43 minutes. This guy thinks he's dropping bombs. He's bombing for sure. Meanwhile, everybody knew this. You're the one who needed this video. In fact, I'm pretty sure people put out like 2.5 hour long videos trying to explain to Ethan Klein and, of course, his magical talking donkey, Hila, who we know and love, everybody. Hila Klein.
Hee-haw.
Hee-haw. Her classic catchphrase. Hee-haw. I've got theories, by the way, about Hila Klein. I think there's something afoot. There's something mysterious going on in this video. But the way they did this, and again, to appeal to the teens, so that the teens know, you got to get the teens in there. To appeal to them, he did it like the old school H3 setup. Look at this. Watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, hi there. It's me, your old friend.
Remember? Remember when you were two? Remember when you liked iDubbbz before he was Mr. Jamha?
Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys.
He had to prove it, by the way. He had to show them on camera, because anybody else would be like, nah, come on.
I've lost 100 pounds.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Nikocado Avocado. How did this happen?
Beautiful.
What are these guys doing that they can just go away for like 2.5 months and then they come back and they look like some sort of creepy, haunted woodsman?
But if you go back far enough, he gained that weight and then had to lose it again.
Yeah, well, he's good at it, man. I got to get on whatever this diet. I'm trying to get ripped by August. I don't know if they're doing, everybody's going to say Ozempic. Jesse, it's Ozempic. I don't know that it's Ozempic. I think they've got secret stuff that they're into. Of course, I was going to say, I don't even know if you can get Ozempic anymore because of all the tariffs and stuff, but it probably comes from Israel. So, he's got the fucking hookup.
And I've pissed off 75% of the internet. Probably.
No. You pissed off almost 75% of your audience. And this entire video is a mea culpa content nuke. Non-tent nuke, by the way. It's all just fucking non-tent. Speaking of bombing, we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about, we got a female comedian who got heckled. Okay? Natalie Cuomo. You've probably seen the video. I've got the full video. She deleted it from her YouTube because it's so embarrassing. It's amazing. Stand-up comedians are fucking dead. It's over. I called it years and years ago. I said, hecklers are the new comedians. It's official. By the way, Mersh, updates on the car repo situation. You didn't think it's possible, but it's possible. It's happening. There's more trouble afoot. It shouldn't be happening to a man, but it fucking is. And you remember Dick Masterson's Riley? I have a Riley. Dick Masterson has a Riley. Dick has sent his henchmen out to Eric July's house. So we're going to check out all that stuff, plus more on PODAWFUL. Let's do it. Let's go. That's a real thing that happened to me as a man in real life. Welcome, everybody. This is PODAWFUL. I'm your host, Jesse P.S. And let's get right into the news. Does he still do that, or how does LOLCal Live start? Does he just go, here's two fat guys, please give me money? Be a more honest way of starting. You can watch us live over at PODAWFUL.tv, over on our YouTube, awful.tube, share that show, hit like, all that stuff. And, of course, join the Pizza Fun, PODAWFUL.pizza. We are live. We got a live chat room. We got people in here with me, talking to me right now. You can call into the show on our Discord, PODAWFUL.com/cult. Join the call-in channel. There's our chat room. What are people saying in the chat? Let's see. Love this song. They say, whoa, classic. Whoa, buddy, people are saying as well. Did you just overdose and fall? Yes. I overdosed. I was given a magical elixir by a crazy woman who lived in literally a house for retarded people. It's just a big building, and every occupant in it was an old retarded person. And she gave me some sort of horrifying soup on a spoon, and I drank it, and then it did actually give me a permanent disease known as Crowder-David's disease, the disease that all hosts of all podcasts and so on eventually have to succumb to and die from. So we're going to talk more about the Ethan content nuke thing. Again, I've got theories all over this fucking thing. We've been covering Ethan Klein on this show since 2014, I want to say, just off and on. We check in on Ethan Klein. It's nice to check in again. I saw this video, back when it came out. I got most people didn't make it even 27 minutes in. You can actually see right here on the timeline when people start tuning out. I made it about 27 minutes in, and then at some point, I got to about an hour 30 or so, which is right before it ends, and I went, I haven't been watching this at all. I haven't paid attention to a fucking word this broccoli-headed dork has said. So, we're not going to really watch the whole thing here. It's completely unnecessary, but I do have a few takes on it that I haven't seen anybody else said. I figure we cover that. Before we get into that, though, we got to do this. Let's go over to, last couple episodes, I had this thing. It's taking the internet by storm. It's my big viral moment now, where I did an impression of the boys over at Keno Casino, I guess namely PPP. And I showed you Cog, the internet's Cog, British Mersh. He loved it. I don't know if he knew it was me doing it, but somebody made an animation. A guy named Pigzar Animations, I believe, did this animation of me as this weird worm creature PPP. This thing's been taken off. It's going everywhere. Even people who hate me love this. It's a fascinating thing. Here's Mad at the Internet with Joshua Connor Moon. Now, Josh Moon from Kiwi Farms hates me, and he will go to great lengths to explain this to you in this clip. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another example of what we call PODAWFUL in the mild. Check this out.
With that Cash App banner right front and center, chat.
He's doing my coverage, by the way, of Mersh, as everybody who covers Mersh does, basically. But he's showing, so he's going to talk about Mersh and the repoed card, just like we're doing tonight. And what does he first point out? The QR code. I wonder where he gets it from. So he's just playing Mersh here. I think he's added in this background music because you know, when you're not hearing the sound of a quiet, soft baby trying to find its way through the internet, you might freak out and go, is the show even live anymore? He doesn't appear on camera because that would be too embarrassing.
By the way, seriously, yeah, my car is legit getting fucking repoed, so, you know.
More about that later.
You throw me a few bucks, that'd be great.
If you quit smoking, you'd probably save enough money to pay your car bill, bro. Just a thought. Okay, so
now listen to him. He's dying laughing. Just the thought of my comedy stylings and bits are killing him inside. Like, it's one of the funniest things he's ever seen or experienced on the internet. Watch this.
The entire reason I played this to you, I don't give a shit about Mersh. The entire reason I played this to you is that there's a guy, I fucking hate him.
Okay.
His name is Jesse.
Now, all right, sure. My name is Jesse. That's true. But it's a little strange that he's never going to say PODAWFUL. Again, PODAWFUL in the mild. It's one of our classic bits on the show. I'm getting Voldemorted.
He does a podcast, but it's like...
He does a pod. Well, what's it called? How come you don't want to say? And of course, the chat room, they start going, you mean Jesse from PODAWFUL? You mean that, Jesse? They already know.
You have to pay to listen to it at all. So
what?
He like aggressively...
I don't know how you guys are... You're stealing from me right now.
Shills and gets involved in everybody's drama to shill his fucking podcast.
I'm in the least number of
He made
drama.
a video.
This is a guy who owns a website that all it does is catalog everyone's dramas. You know whose drama I'm involved in? Mersh's repossessed car. Even he had to say, by the way, I shouldn't be involved in that one. Let's be clear. I should not be involved in another man's repossessed vehicle whatsoever, right? But I am. Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow I am part of it. I'm part of his life in that way. Now, he even admits he only played the Mersh stuff to talk about me. It doesn't connect, by the way. It does not really connect in any way. But when you think of me, you think of Mersh. So even he admits that it's my coverage he's doing. But this is the thing. He thinks I only do shows behind a pay. How the fuck, by the way, does he make money? Does anybody know how Josh Moon makes money? Call into the show, podawful.com/cult. It's our Discord. You jump in the call-in section here. We'll drag you in. I would love to know. Do you have to pay to use Kiwi Farms?
I thought he always just depended on donations.
I'm guessing the man asks for handouts, you know, like Mersh. That just makes you one of the cows, man. I don't care what website you run. You get, he's probably getting super chats off of this show. I'm the one shilling and begging or whatever he said here. But this is a man running a show where he reads you a forum. He reads you everyone else's content and ideas and words. And then you're supposed to give him money for it. That's Mersh, man. That's Ethan Klein. That's all of these people. But he's got the wrong idea about me. This is the thing. He thinks I'm very funny. Listen to this.
Laughed out loud at, and I have to play it because it's very funny. And the main reason why it's so funny is...
We love PODAWFUL, someone says in his chat room. But then someone else says, fuck Jesse. Jesse PS PODAWFUL. They all know. Somebody says H2BH. They all know. Why does he hide it?
That he does an impression of PPP, and the impression is so dead on. I was genuinely confused if this was like AI or like clips that were strung together. And then you don't even realize until the end.
Now, part of that, he might be confused also just because he is, you know, a breathless little baby. He's confused by jangling keys. He thinks that's a show. So it might not mean anything that he gives me a compliment.
Where he starts talking more normally, that no, it's just an impression. So I will play this clip for you. It's relevant to the Mersh stuff.
Remember this?
Let me turn it down a bit.
Pig.
Oh no, I can't.
Pigzar animations. Now watch this.
I can't play it because of YouTube sucking. But it's so short, I will download it really quick.
This is a show, by the way. I had to sit through this. Now you have to sit through this.
Download to DLP. Give me.
His voice is always cracking.
It's
I thought
all.
it could be over that by now.
It's like Peter Brady if he was just given birth to. It's
Quality
crazy.
for my fan zone. Okay.
Anyway, send in super chats to this guy. He's figuring out his computer live.
And I think I can open this one in.
He can't play a YouTube video. His entire show is just playing YouTube videos. He can't figure it out. He's like, I have to download this. Sorry, Grandpa, you didn't have any time before the show. This is his favorite part of the show, by the way. This is the funniest thing he's ever seen.
The name of this is How Kino Casino Looks to Normal People. Okay. Let's see if I can get MPV player on the screen. Sorry, I'm having to like do two different weird things for
Oh my gosh. It must be
He's
so
having to set up
tough.
the show.
It must be so hard doing two things at once. Wow, what a hard setup you must have, Josh. It must be so impossible for you to get all this stuff done. How do you do it, man? It's just him. It's a one-man show. He's pressing all the buttons. He's downloading the videos and making the things happen and running the website that you submit the content to that he doesn't even know what he's watching until he's watching it live on the show.
for this stream.
It's tough. Give him a break.
Be very careful with
This is hard. And of course, like half the chat is like into PodAWFUL, half of it hates PodAWFUL. And the ones that hate PodAWFUL in the chat, they're just the ones who have heard him say, I hate PodAWFUL. Somebody make an animation of this. Here's my impression of Josh Moon. So what happened to Ethan Ralph today? Help me! Help! I assume he's always in danger. Didn't he move to Romania or something? Isn't that where Andrew Tate lives so that he can run some sort of pimpery job or something? I don't know.
Serbia.
There's got to be somebody who is, knocking at his door, and any minute now, the entire operation goes down. Let's bring in Comically Evil. Comically Evil has something to add. Comically Evil? What's up?
Whoa, happy to be here.
Happy to be here, of course.
I watched Josh for a very long time, so
Okay.
I've kind of seen that he has this behavior, right?
Right.
Where he has this very autistic kind of internet code of ethics that he thinks people should follow. And if you don't really follow that, he'll kind of hate you or not exactly interact with you or anything like that. And it really cuts him off from people who could actually help him out. Because he does occasionally make very good points, about internet censorship and the like, about trans people, whatever. But again, he'll cut himself off from these people who could do him a lot of good.
You're right. You're right. And I'm being unfair here. I'm being completely unfair by talking about this because in a lot of ways, I listen, I like Kiwi Farms. It's a great resource. You go to Kiwi Farms, you find certain things for the show. Certainly, I tend to, when I go to Kiwi Farms for content, when I need something off of there, what I do is I take that information and then I turn it into something funny. And then what Matt at the internet does is he reads it. So, which, I could just do that on my own time. Basically, Matt at the internet is a show where they go, you don't have time to read Kiwi Farms? I'll do it for you. Which I guess, that's a fine resource, I suppose. But you're right about that. He's got this code of ethics, and a lot of the guys on, so many people that use that site are just trying to be Josh. They want to be his friend. So they know they have to be like him. By the way, being like him means also, being into futa, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what futa is. I just know it's bad. I've heard the term.
That's nasty.
It probably involves like a shitting dick nipple or something. I don't know exactly what's going on. But you're right about the code of ethics. And this is the thing that I hate, is it's completely retarded. And I say this with all due respect and love, and I don't actually care at all what he thinks about me. But I do think that it's the most hypocritical, retard, baby brain, goo goo gaga, I had to run away to Romania, please help, my mommy, sort of thinking that anyone has ever done. When you run a website where the entire purpose of the website, let's be real, the original entire purpose of it was to harass the world's most autistic man until he turns into a trans. It worked. All right. Congrats. And listen, I love watching Chris Chan stuff just like the rest of everybody else until 2012. And then it was kind of over. Keep in mind, Josh Moon was giving money to Chris Chan like up until and just after Chris was raping his mom. So when this guy says don't touch the poo-poo, he's saying it while buried underneath an outhouse, okay? He's inside a septic tank telling you, oh, no, don't get involved. Now, of course, if you don't get involved, nothing happens. There's nothing for your little website to catalog if nobody does anything. This entire concept of A-logging and weens, and by the way, this is all, if this is your first episode of PodAWFUL, apologies. Goodbye. It's over. You don't know what I'm talking about, and I barely know what I'm talking about. But there's these terms that they use, this weens and A-logging and all that kind of stuff. And the irony of all ironies is these terms come, he's got a wet voice. I just saw someone say in the chat. That's incredible. These terms, A-logging, ween, all this kind of stuff, these are Chris Chan's terms. So if you're using them unironically, you have the same brain as Chris Chan.
I got excited, very excited to see all of this.
You understand? It's not exactly a good way of thinking or doing things.
I have autism. I can't help it.
You were saying comically evil.
Yeah, I think it's very kind of hypocritical of him to say that, like, oh, you have all your stuff behind a paywall, blah blah blah, when he's done crowdfunding multiple times. Again, he gets donations for his show. Like, he may not have it behind a paywall, but he has asked for money for a lot of things in the past.
He would paywall it if he could. He would paywall it if he thought it was financially viable. That's 100% true. He would. If he saw
a Patreon.
He saw what happened.
He had a Gumroad.
Let's be clear. He saw what happened to Something Awful. Something Awful got paywalled, and eventually it died. And so that's the only reason he doesn't do it. You'd be paying $5 to post there. And I have no issue with that, by the way. I don't see the problem with that whatsoever. It's not even about hypocritical. He's wrong. I don't paywall. I've been doing more shows than ever for the past month. Tonight we're doing a huge show. It's all free. There's like, the amount that is paywalled is so tiny. But I like that he says this sort of thing because it means that his entire hatred for me is based on nothing. It's based on nothing. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So then you have to go, well, it's got to be something. He didn't just hear this. He didn't just come up with this out of nowhere. And then you get to remember what it's really about. And of course, the real reason he hates PodAWFUL, it's not his morals or his set of values or his code of ethics. It's not what I do with a Patreon or a paywall or any of that, because this is a man who's had Patreons, like you said. He also had a thing called a new project too. And that's what it's really about, is Josh Moon got called out by me when I was calling out everybody on Dick Masterson's platform, New Project 2, for sweeping for him. Dick Masterson had everybody on that platform in his pocket. Guess who had the second highest, next to Dick, second highest New Project 2, who was making the most money off of it, other than the man who created the platform himself? Josh Moon. That's what it's always been. Now listen, I get it. You don't want to fuck up where you're getting money from. Fine. But don't spin it like me having a paywall is the problem you have with me. Let's get beyond this, okay? Let's just admit the truth here. The things you don't like about me, you don't even know about me. The things you do like about me are the true ones. Isn't it fascinating? Because watch him actually talk about this.
PV player? No, that does not.
If he can figure out his VLC here.
Try VLC.
I knew it. I knew he used VLC. That was a guess. Okay. I just went, what does a nerd use? I hate the second I see that little orange cone, I'm pissed. Oh, I'm pissed. Yeah, pizza day, they say in chat room. By the way, pizza day. That sound like anything? Pizza. What did this pizza day thing? I hear people say that around Kiwi Farms.
Because he's fat.
I don't really know what it means.
He used to.
I can explain it.
Save it for Fridays.
Like,
right.
No, go ahead, Jared.
One person.
Yeah, he was trying to lose weight when he was in Serbia, and he was doing like a keto thing or whatever. And I think once a week he had a cheat night.
By the way, if you're fat in Serbia, you're born fat. You will never get thin. How can you even be fat in Serbia? There's no excuses then. You can't do the whole the seed oils. You know, you don't get to do any of the, I'm filled with microplastics. The American cheese I have to eat every day. It's different. They basically don't have
shit
food.
To say about Josh being fat.
Okay.
He's a bit of a lol cow. So there was a little blow up, a little incident that he had because apparently he actually has moved back to the US as of recently. And this was back when I was still paying attention to Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
There's a gun thread in there, and he made some posts in there. You know, the guys who post in that thread, they're kind of like gun guys, kind of like Urquhart types. Like, they get into the weight to the bullets and all this other stuff.
Sure.
And so he was posting like, hey, I want to defend myself from trans people because they've showed up to my house when I used to live in the States of Florida, and I want to know what kind of gun do I get? I need to be able to protect against level 4 body armor, and I need to fortify my house and all this shit. Well, eventually the thread progressed to a point where some people were saying, look, it's all well and good to have like a fancy gun or a good gun or a big gun, but you need to be able to physically move in order to defend yourself. And over time, he started unspooling a little bit. And a little bit more recently, he started posting like, hey, I'm starting to lose weight and I'm going back on my diet and stuff. And people started posting like, hey, you should try this. Hey, you should try that. This exercise, this diet advice. And he freaked the fuck out. And he genuinely got to a point. I don't have any screenshots. I don't have any posts on hand, but I'm sure someone who's listening either now or after the show will show you. He genuinely starts saying, I'm going to ban anyone who gives me any unsolicited weight loss advice because you people are pissing me the fuck off. I know what I'm doing. Don't tell me how to live my life. I know I'm fat, but I'm doing it my way. Like, he genuinely has, and many people have made this observation on the website, he has like oppositional defiant disorder.
Yeah.
He gets into this little hissy fit mode. And I think you've even said this before, Jesse. Part of his thing, and he does not want to admit this, he's become Mr. Matoker. People idolize him. They want to be his friend. He wants, he's the internet's villain. He's the internet's bad guy. But also at the same time, if you go to his website, it is a hug box.
Of course.
He has a 2,000-page thread about him, and it's stuck in what they call the prospering grounds.
Well, let's be
where if you don't have, go ahead.
Let's be clear. If you have a website like Kiwi Farms, that it exists as a troll shield. That's the entire point of it, is to make him seem like he's okay. Yeah, of course. But listen, of course it's going to be that way. It's his website. He's allowed to do that. I don't even give a shit. I don't care about any of that. He's a big fatso.
About the hypocrisy.
Of course, I don't care about the hypocrisy. Let me be honest.
Well, it has to do with death.
I don't care.
Okay.
All right. I do not care about any of that. I really don't. He's allowed to do all of that. The only thing I care about is, he's got an effect on these idiots that follow it. They want to be like him. He's one of these people where if he says a guy is good, then they just believe it. And if he says a guy is bad, they just believe it.
Exactly.
I'll tell you this. We're gonna watch this. He loves this entire animation, this bit I did. He thinks it's so funny, but he has to start it with, I don't like this guy, Jesse. And then the reason he gives doesn't make any sense. And I've come to realize something, all right? The fact that he's afraid to say PODAWFUL, that's a fear. That's a complete fear to not say, it's cheating to say Jesse. Number one, that's not even my name, all right? My real name is, of course, Lontavius, and everybody who watches the show knows that. But number two, so if you said Lontavius, people would know instantly PODAWFUL. But number two, when you hide by saying Jesse and not saying PODAWFUL, there's a reason for that. And it's not I don't want to give this guy any shine. You're showing my shit on your show. It's happening one way or the other. The chat already knows exactly who did it. So that's not the point. There's a fear there, and it's a little odd that me, a tiny little guy who does nothing, who affects nobody. Nobody knows who I am, according to everyone. I'm not even worth a Kiwi Farms thread, as they say. Why is the guy from Kiwi Farms so afraid of me? And I'm here to tell you, there's no reason to be. You're into pizza. I'm into pizza. You're into following autistic retards and hurting their lives. Same. You're a big fat guy. I'm a big fat guy. You know, you pretended to live in Serbia for years and then kept getting all the photos you posted wrong of where they were. Everybody instantly clocked it like Rainbolt exactly where those photos were from. And then you lied about it. I live on the moon. So there's really no reason for all this hatred back and forth. All it serves is to make you look weak. And it makes me seem like some bad guy. I didn't even do anything except make a funny show. And I've noticed this over and over again. The people who dislike PODAWFUL, there's two versions. Most of them are just a guy where they like a guy I made fun of. So it's like, it's self-preservation for them. Wait a second. The guy I like is gay and retarded? You stink, Jesse. It's like, maybe. Yeah, I probably do. I probably do stink. But I don't dress up like a gay cow and get fucked in the ass. You know, I'm not Dick Masterson. So it's kind of hard to come back from that one. That's a lot of them. But I keep seeing this one phrase, and this is the entire point of me playing this, by the way, and because I just thought it was really funny that Cog played it and then Josh Moon played this. That means Josh Moon and Cog have the same content, by the way. I keep seeing this phrase over and over. Every single time I do anything that breaks containment. You know, PODAWFUL's a secret show. You're supposed to be putting your headphones on, keeping your head down, and not telling anyone about this. I know I say share the show, but that's to inflict pain on people, not to spread joy with anyone. This is a show about hate. We are fans of hate. So you're supposed to either keep this a secret or hurt people with it. I keep seeing things where, like this bit, like bits before, if I talk about Ethan Ralph or anything that breaks containment, I always see the phrase, this is the first thing or this is the only thing that Jesse has done that is actually funny. But they say it about every fucking thing I do that they see. It's starting to sound like everything I do fucking rules.
Hell yeah.
I'm killing it every single time I top myself. It shouldn't even be possible. It's like I'm having the craziest episode ever every single episode. It shouldn't be physically possible. Watch this. Is this?
Oh, you know what?
Okay, there we go.
Is this an MP4? Can I just no, it's a web. I can put this directly in the browser.
By the way, Pixar, can you take the exact same animation used for PPP, but then take me going like this and put the animation over top? Just turn it into Josh Moon. It's the same guy. PPP, Josh Moon, same guy. So,
hang on a second, everybody. I just have to download my video. I have really bad internet. I can't afford better internet. Oh, look, keys. There's keys jangling. PODAWFUL hurt me.
Let's do something with that. I don't know.
Okay, sound does work.
Jesse PS.
Sorry, professional streamer over here. Head on my way.
What was that? Fred Flintstone.
All right, here we go.
Here we go, guys. He did it. He managed to figure out downloading. Whoa, buddy! Mersh's car is being repoed live. Whoa! He loves it. He's dying. He's dying laughing at this. He loves this. This is the craziest, most. And the chat's losing it. Even the people who hated me 2 seconds ago, they're like, their buddies are being so woed right now. Satanist! You're not going to believe what you're about to see.
That was the line where I realized, oh, this isn't clips. This is an impression. This
the part where I peeked the mic, took the windscreen off, and literally damaged my microphone. That was the part where you figured it out.
Right.
You're not going to believe what you're about to see. The thing from yesterday's show, but again.
He told me not to talk about it. He said I will not be on the same screen as that fuck Chris Jericho.
Oh, look, Mersh got up and he left.
Man, like they have like this little bar.
It's Mersh Week!
Like right by the...
Nobody who's playing this even knows what It's Mersh Week means, but they all love that line. It's Mersh Week.
And,
Mersh car.
There was a...
Repo.
There was a
Gay hands.
The cover of my...
Gay hands.
I don't even know what that means. Listen,
Buddy loves it.
Buddy, I take offense to this part, though. I gotta say, I gotta call this part out.
But again.
This part.
The thing from yesterday's show, but again.
Listen here. The sector has a limited cast, okay? You have to talk about what you know, all right? Those throw stones there, Jesse.
And now, of course, when I said that, it meant something totally different. But then when Cog played this on his show, he played it again the next day. So it was literally, he did it. He did the meme. And then Josh is now about to do the meme and play the same thing as yesterday.
Oh, sorry, that was very funny.
Yeah, it was.
All right, next.
So now he's going to play something from yesterday. Now, I don't know why he's saying no throwing stones. I've only played this on 2 episodes now, and of course did it on the original episode. So I guess, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, here's the thing I realized. Here's the worst part of this entire thing. I can't believe it took me this long to even figure it out. This broke containment. Everybody enjoyed it. This is a crossover, mitzvah. Everyone's enjoying it. Even Josh, even Cog, people who hate me love this. Why? Because these are the people that think loud equals fucking funny.
Is this a cult if I ever heard one? Yes, it is. It's a cult. I mean, it's the cult of cult.
All right. You can call into podawful.com/cult. Cast Iron, did you have something else you want to say? I kind of dragged you in and you jumped in, but I think you probably had some other point.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not really that important, but I just wanted to address, he's saying, I don't like Jesse because he inserts himself into all this drama, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was, he made a tweet recently. It's kind of lol suit related. Basically, the long and short of it is that he has taken it upon himself to bankroll any of the other women who are looking to sue Destiny for his cum guy related crimes.
Yes, and this isn't even the first time he's done that bit, by the way. I've seen him do that. Yeah, he does this all the time, of course. Again, we don't have to get in it. I don't care about the hypocrisy. All right, Josh?
But
I forgive you. You love PodAwful. Just admit it. You love PodAwful. Anybody who watches PodAwful, and I'm not making fun of their guy in the moment, they love PodAwful. It's as simple as that. And listen, if you need me to scream to be as funny as Dick Masterson, so be. Every once in a while, I'll scream right into the microphone. I'll damage it. I'll break it. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. I'm now just as funny as Alex Stein. We're like the same guy. This is the pathetic thing. I'm realizing it. It's like, it is this simple. Cover the stuff that the stupid slop tent, non-tent that everybody talks about. Did everyone already talk about a thing? Perfect. That's the stuff people want to see. And then how do you make it funny? You scream. You just scream. And you be agreeable. You be agreeable about things. Now, with that lesson in mind, Here's the Ethan Klein shit about Hasan Piker! We hate Hasan! Remember? Sam Hyde said he was going to kill him? Remember when Sam Hyde said he was going to kill Hasan? Now we all hate Hasan. Now, obviously, we all hated Hasan before that, but did you even really know anything? He's a commie. Okay, so he's gay on the internet. So are half the other people on the internet. Now, everybody tried to tell Ethan, Hasan's gay on the internet. Get away from him. And then Ethan was like, wait a second, but I'm gay on the internet now, too. Why can't I be friends with him? And then used him to boost his own profile. And now here he is discarding him to boost his own profile because that's all these people do. And when I say these people, what I mean is YouTubers.
Probably a lot of you guys too. Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should bomb. Oh yeah, and I got a tattoo also, so I'm cool like that now. Left or
oh my god, what the fuck? The only thing that could have been worse there is if he lifted up his shirt and had Nick Rekieta's tattoo.
Right. I always thought that, despite our differences, there was one thing.
Hasan fucking sucks, they say in the chat. I know, right? When's Sam gonna go kill him? Or anything? What happened there? How come Sam Hyde never went to, like, go find him? So, you know, Hasan goes out to all these public events. Wouldn't it be funny if he showed up? And what happened with that? Exactly. The meme. Everybody posts the meme, the face, something like that. And then nothing happened there. What? But don't we hate Hasan, everybody? Don't we? Hey, oh my God, he affects my life. There's just something about Hasan Piker that affects my life as a grown man. And I hate him. I hate him. I don't find it enjoyable to make fun of him. I just hate him. I just wish he was dead.
And what was that?
And I agree with you, the person out there who thinks that way and says that. In fact, I agree with all your thoughts. And here I am. I'm ready to say all your thoughts back to you.
That we love America and everything she stands for.
What the heck? Is that a little star in the middle? Was it? Oh, no. Okay, sorry. Mom and thought I saw a 6-pointed star for a second.
Dad and apple pie. Sure, there's plenty to criticize and endless things to improve, but I thought it was about making a more perfect union.
So now he's a guy who likes America. Since when?
Not tearing it down.
Marching bands, a pride that only
the thing is, there's something kind of scary brewing in America. Communism.
Okay. So obviously he's playing on the aesthetics and the vibe and the feel. Welcome to Fleckus Talks, they say in the chat. He's playing on the aesthetics and the vibe and the feel of classic H3. Back when you as a teenage girl thought that they were good. And of course, H3, much like with Ian Jomha, H3 always stunk. It was always garbage. Now, I said this back when, at the height of Vape Nash, when it was the worst time to ever say anything about them bad. They were like the top of YouTube at this point. They were bigger than Joe Rogan back then. And I said, these guys blow. This is not good, and it's never been good. And no one agreed with me.
That's America. That's America to me.
I started to show a couple of years.
H3 stole from Filthy Frank. Who cares? The fuck? Filthy Frank? You might as well have told me he stole from the Easter Bunny. Filthy Frank isn't real. He doesn't exist. He never was. When was the last time Filthy Frank was on the internet? Wearing my glasses, by the way. Somehow it was okay when he did it. That's a whole other topic. Filthy Frank is a topic. There's something creepy going on with that guy. You just leave the internet and you go, actually, I'm a musician now. My name is Joji. No. That's like when Garth Brooks tried to be Chris Gaines. Garth Brooks, okay, the top country music superstar of the 90s, you know? He blamed it all on his roots. He hosted SNL. He was that big that they made him not the musical guest. He was the host of SNL. And then the mysterious musical guest of the episode, this was like 1995, folks. Hang in there, children. All right, I'm taking you on a ride here. In 1995, he hosts SNL. The mysterious musical guest is Chris Gaines. And Chris Gaines was just Garth Brooks wearing a soul patch. It was insanity. It was absolute insanity. And we were all meant to believe they were different men. Why? Because Garth Brooks was a country guy and Chris Gaines was a rock and roll man. Now, when Filthy Frank, a man who I'm pretty sure I've seen a clip of him eat vomit, when he tells me, no, actually, I'm Drake now, which is what he's doing, I'm not liable to believe that he's either Joji or Filthy Frank anymore. Now I'm starting to believe that he's a terrifying human being who has been living out some sort of mental disorder in front of fans for years. You know? This is like if Hannah Montana was real and gay and like a dude. All right? You don't get to pretend to be a YouTube man and then go, actually, I'm Joji. I was Joji the whole time. Check out my soul patch. I rock. And the fact that Ethan Klein was friends with him proves this, by the way. These are all fake Ian, Joma, H3, Joji. I know but he's a nice guy. He had the funniest videos where he ate vomit. Loud is funny. I don't believe any of it. Sorry, these are fake freaks. These are mutants. You should be treating them the way you treat, the garbage pail kids. Like they're fun to look at for a minute and they're not that funny. Maybe you want to collect them. Maybe you're one of those people that's like so gay that you have multiple collections of kitsch. And you also have a disturbing number of very old magazines called Boy's Life somewhere in your home. You don't look at them. You just collect them. You should collect them. It's fine. Anyway, I think H3 is part of this. They're going for the aesthetics of the old school thing because it literally says Vape Nation in the background here. I just caught this for the first time. Check that out. He's got a vape. It's to remind you. It's to go, remember when you liked me? Remember when H3 was good? And unfortunately, the magic is gone. It's been gone. It's long gone. And he can't reclaim it. He can't reconnect to it. Look at this.
Years ago with my acquaintance, Hasan Piker.
My acquaintance, not my friend.
You might remember him from such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it.
He said this when you were friends. He said this when you said, let's hire him for a show.
Saying it. Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry. Holy shit. That's not what I said. You dumb cracker bitch.
And of course,
that's the guy you liked, by the way. So what's the difference now? I wonder. What is the one little tricky needle that's changing everything, that's popping your balloon of friendship? Back when the conservative guys were bad words and certain people should die, everything was peachy keen. Is there a certain country Hasan isn't too fond of that maybe there's something particular about you, Ethan, that you're like, hang on a second, let's pump the brakes here?
The Leftovers podcast, which was our show, which we made broadly to goof on the antics of the right. Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
There is Ethan Klein being a delightful human being.
I was just going to say, if there's another Holocaust, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets...
By the way, the greatest thing Ethan Klein ever said, that rules. The fact that he was canceled for that. He's allowed to say that. He's Jewish.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And we went on making the show for about 2 years and everything was good. Everyone was having fun. The audience was having fun. No problem. That was until this happened. We were doing our regular show.
Now there she is. The haunted, insane freak behind the scenes. We did a whole episode about Mr. Joma and how Anissa is actually in charge of all the content. Could a similar thing be going on here? Now, of course, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that Hila could be the one behind all of Ethan's silly retard mistakes, right? Mostly because she can't even talk as a human being. Somehow she's existed on Earth for presumably 38 years or something like that. And at no point, 40, I don't know how old she is. At no point did she learn how to talk. Now, for a donkey, she does a pretty good job. But for a person, she's like really, really fucking up.
And for the first time, I noticed...
Because you look at her and you go, well, there ain't a thought in her head. But there is one thought in her head. Dead Palestinian kids.
Inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. I don't hate the idea of like people who can be successful. I think it's good that people can achieve success in the term monetary success. I mean, that's what that means.
She is lobotomized, they say in the chat room.
Right? I do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because I see so many people in the chat saying no.
I don't know what y'all are tripping about. Like, what the fuck do you
What
want?
is the idea that
you guys
people
like
are looking for?
You guys are all like...
What is the idea that people are looking for? I don't even know if Ethan can hear her. Is that just in my head? Am I imagining her talking? Is this some sort of delusion that I have that this is actually... Is she even there? Wait a second. There's nobody there. Was that a two-shot 2 seconds ago, or am I crazy?
Radical communists? There's that many?
I just discover in real time that Hila Klein is a character I invented in my head, and no one in chat even knows who I'm talking about right now.
Radical communists? Suck it, chat.
Eliana, you can see this thing, right? This isn't just me. This isn't some sort of bizarre Japanese doll brought to life in front of me.
I don't know. I mean, I can only see H3 clearly. I mean, it's just kind of a splotch right over there.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
You're watching a capitalist pig.
This can't be a real person. I mean, look at what she's wearing. This cannot be a real person. That's not a real shirt. That's what you imagine in a dream. When a nightmare woman walks up to you in a dream and you try to uncover her message, her horrifying message that she has written out on her shirt for you.
Deal with it. And then this happened.
So you see, they're filming it like the old videos. It's like Hila on the ground, holding the camera, pointing it at Ethan.
This comment from Hasan really started to sound some alarms in my head. If you're in a
oh my God, look how twitchy he is.
Socialist country.
Oh my God. Dude, hey. Hasan needs to do a content nuke on you. This is again, he might be imagining Hila. I don't know. We might be having some sort of group delusion, you know, a mass hysteria is going on where we're all seeing the Hila Klein boogeyman in the corner. It's like that shadow person that Aaron Imholt's always seeing over there. He just believes she's real. Yeah, I've got a wife. I've got a kid. What is it, by the way, about the internet where when you are a freak on it for long enough, it turns you into this twitching spaz? There's so many, it seems like so many people I watch online to make fun of are Tourette's freaks. How does this even happen to you? Is this Crowder-David's disease? Is it the internet is cancer, and these are the symptoms?
With multiple parties, and one of the parties is a cat.
He's shaking out the goofies from his arm. Dude, listen, you need to do your mommy made me mash my M&Ms before the show. Zip, zap, zop with Hasan.
Capitalist party, which would surely exist.
And your phantasm wife.
Yeah. What would you do if that party started?
Hey, you know who we should all listen to on politics and the way that the economy should work and everything? Hey, this guy's saying capitalism sucks. He must be right. Zip, zoop, zoop, zip, zoop, 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 zoop.
Gaining momentum.
Josh Moon right now is like,
The solution to that would always be education and offering more
re-education.
Re-education, certainly, yeah. There should be an enforcement mechanism, and in that enforcement mechanism, I think like rehabilitation, which would include re-education as well.
So this is a show I've never watched I think they call this the leftovers. I've never really sat down and watched this. I've seen little clips here and there. Imagine following a politics show going, these guys have it all figured out. It's hosted by a literal pinhead and a spaz. Like, this is a shrunken head man from
Nepo baby
Beetlejuice.
too?
A Nepo. Yes, he's Cenk Junger's grandson or something like that. I think.
Well, if putting capitalists in re-education camps isn't disturbing enough, I started to notice that Hasan was carrying a lot of water for communist states' war crimes and genocide.
When did you start noticing that? 500 years ago? Are you traveling time? What is going on?
What do you call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory, bitch. That's what I call
Crimea River.
I call it Crimea River.
Right.
A Russian river. The annexation of Crimea is absolutely a justifiable annexation. Tibet was literally...
I'm sorry, was that before or after this moment right here? Because I'm pretty sure it was before.
A fucking feudal slave mandate, autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one... I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying, suck my tongue or whatever, but like, that's not far from the norm.
Excuse me?
In fucking normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
so China unilaterally took over Tibet.
Like,
okay. Oh, listen, Ethan, this is edited after the fact. What happened to jump cuts? Can we go back to jump cuts on YouTube? China unilaterally.
Their culture. They basically are trying to, homogenize the culture.
If your culture,
they're trying to spoil the religion.
What are they trying to do? Make yogurt?
The part of feudal warlords and slavery, abolishing that.
Oh my God! Look at Ethan. Watch this again. Look at this. Holy shit!
The part of feudal warlords and slavery.
Watch. He's going to start hearing Michael Jackson in his head.
Abolishing that. Yes, I do think that.
What the fuck was that? His whole head just did a little dance. He's shabound.
That is good.
No, China did them
Whoa.
a favor.
Honestly, when you see him spaz out this bad, you start to go, okay, I guess maybe he didn't notice that Hasan was always like this. He was too busy focused on the inside of his eyelid.
It's a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American...
Hard to notice your best friend is a genocidal communist when you're trying to bite your own elbow.
Federal government going into the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of...
Fake Tourette's. I also think it's fake, by the way.
Slavers and defenders of slavery. This is violent retribution from a powerful federal government that squashed, okay?
Tibet is the South in the Civil War?
Yes.
Look at Ethan's head compared to Hasan. Everybody thinks Hasan's got these gigantic shoulders, like he's a big, strong man. Look at Ethan's head compared to Hasan's head. Hasan has normal size man shoulders, maybe somewhere in the ballpark of me. And then his head is just shrinking in real time in front of you. Every single time he says some dumb communist nonsense, it just shrivels up a little bit more. This is like the monkey's paw evil wish he made to become rich.
And most disturbingly, a complete whitewashing of the Chinese genocide against their Muslim minority group, the
Is that the most disturbing thing, or is it maybe the two-state solution, the final two-state
Uyghurs? Don't they have Uyghur death camps? Is that?
It's not a death camp. They were re-education camps, and they are no longer in operation.
Is that
according
true?
to the Associated Press?
Okay. I saw this crazy documentary, and I don't know. I don't know.
I thought Uyghur death camp was when you sent a bunch of juggalos to lose weight.
I don't know the surrounding narrative or anything about it, but it was about there was doctors in the area. They would be able.
He's Indian now.
Hila's whispering to him through her magical dark arts. Say something stupid.
To procure organs.
No, no.
I'm telling you, they were in China with
that one is like Shen Yun.
They're like,
Falun
we can
Gong.
get you an organ from a Uyghur.
But why is that? Is that really that crazy?
The Associated Press
They're just crumpling candy on their podcast.
quietly fucking wrote an article that didn't get a lot of coverage.
All right, let's skip this. Who gives a shit about what this idiot's saying? I want to get back to Ethan on cam here. There's an important part coming up here. And I would tell you, I would know exactly what timestamp it is and where to find it. Except, again, I zoned out totally while trying to watch this.
Who you consider to be a friend?
The problem wasn't that he was pro-Palestinian, because I share a lot of those views, and I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years.
Emphasis on wart.
Hassan's coverage, and a lot of people like him, was their complete lack of empathy for the Jewish people who...
We need the Ethan Klein eyebrowmeter. This is an invention I had. I don't know if I still... Hang on a second. Klein, maybe? Will that bring it up? Do I still have the eyebrowmeter on here? Nah. Oh, yeah, I do. I do. Guys, we have this invention. It's the Ethan Klein eyebrowmeter, and it detects how much his eyebrows are going crazy when he's having his most insane thoughts. We might have to build this back into the Goonopticon so that we can really figure out when he's at his absolute worst. When they go really, really wild, you know that you're about to hear the stupidest fucking take of your life.
Who were frankly slaughtered by Hamas. He refused to show even a crumb of empathy for the Jewish victims.
But listen to what this guy has to say.
And as you might have seen, there was some...
God, you cannot just cut away to fucking Uncle Fester here. Wait, is that why he actually did dress up as Uncle Fester, didn't he? That's why he said his shit.
Criticizing
All right, I take back that joke. That sucked.
people. You don't have to comment if you're not comfortable about it.
I honestly felt at times that he and his audience barely thought of Israelis as humans.
But this dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers.
What if they're conservative Israeli babies? Is it okay then?
There's as well.
What if those babies voted for Trump?
There are babies in the settlements.
Part of running defense for Hamas is downplaying the violence, specifically the sexual violence, which he's done a lot of.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like that, it doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people can't contend with. Like,
how did he even find all this footage of Hasan talk? Every time I look at Hasan Piker, he's just eating ramen noodles while watching someone else's videos. You're lucky if he's even in the fucking chair.
The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets.
We're doing the Seinfeld thing again. That already happened earlier. I think I also heard the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. We get it, Ethan. You're Jewish.
The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets. Is not perfect.
Of course, if you compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis. 40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been...
Okay, now this is the new bit that he's got to do. Ethan's whole bit now is that he's actually on the side of the Palestinians, which is crazy. It's just crazy. His wife is from Israel. He is an Israeli citizen. And this is going to be the hardest part to swallow here because, listen, I don't have any proof of this. Zero. I have zero proof of this. But I know it to be true for a fact in my heart. I'm willing to be sued for defamation over this, okay? Because I just know it must be true. Ethan and Hila Klein are Mossad agents. All right? Now, I don't mean... Maybe they're not directly like secret agents working. They are propagandists put out. They were literally hooked up by Israel to form a YouTube channel to change people's minds. Why did they become political out of nowhere? These were just people that talked about retarded guys on YouTube forever. And then one day they're Mr. and Mrs. Politician. How does a lady who, again, has hooves for hands, how does she start a clothing company? Their entire thing is to sissify and babify you, to infantilize you by making you wear Teddy Fresh So you dress up like a big baby. You might as well have a propeller on your hat, licking a big lollipop. You might as well be Josh Moon going goo goo gaga to a jangling set of keys. And then as soon as you're babified enough, they go, here's the real politics. And it's just stuff that Israel wants you to think. And this is true because here's the thing. They don't lie about this at all. They met when Ethan went to Israel on Birthright. Everybody knows what Birthright is, right? Like every Jewish person is allowed for free, all expenses paid, to go to Israel. You have to be a certain age, I think. I think it's like between the age of like 16 and 27 or something like that. Somewhere in there. Maybe 13, maybe the day you become a man. Baruch atah Adonai, give me a free vacation. And so he went there and he met Hila at, I'm not kidding, the fucking Holocaust Museum.
Yeah, because I'm a fake Jew. I'm not even Jewish, but yeah, I kind of Jew.
She was working at the Holocaust Museum. Now, if this was a movie, that's a setup. That's not like they pushed her out at him and went, go, marry him quick. By the way, I don't even know if this is right or not. I'm fairly certain that Hila's last name was already Klein before marrying him. That's how set up this was. Okay. They'd already even gotten her name ready for her. Now everybody knows she was in the IDF. That's not a secret. In fact, I was one of the first people to really talk about Hila being a murderer of Palestinian children. She loves killing Palestinian kids. Check this out. This is an old clip of PODAWFUL years and years ago.
Sounding like Hila Klein may have killed Palestinian kids, because listen to this story.
You told me once you went on like a mission with them. To like a terrorist city.
So she's the secretary, but she goes on a mission with the brigade.
They took me with them one night, even though they weren't supposed to.
She's liking this. She's smiling big time because she went, I want to see a terrorist.
People in the city started shooting at me.
I was a secretary, and then one time a bullet went whizzing by my head. I'm telling you, Hila is Black Ops, Mossad. This is a woman with secrets, dark secrets.
Not supposed to leave.
No, yeah, not really.
So somebody in a terrorist city, but the terrorist city they're talking about in that clip, that is not like deceptively edited in any way. In fact, I have the full clip here of them talking about this. I don't know if we got time for that, but the terrorist city she's talking about is Ramallah, which is just a city in the West Bank. They called it a terrorist city. She's admitting to a war crime. She literally, in this clip, this is the clip right here. I'll just show you a little bit of the clip here so that you can go look this up for yourself. This is on the H3 podcast highlights, and it's called Hila from H3. H3 discusses her time in the Israeli military.
I have to go to.
And you don't get paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, her whole thing forever now. You've seen that video of the guy who like goes up, he catches them in their car on the street. And he goes up and he's like, weren't you an IDF soldier? Didn't you kill Palestinian kids or whatever? This is like last year, I think. And their cope for this has always been, she was just a secretary. Everyone in Israel has to work for the IDF. You have to do military service. Well, guess what? You know where else they had to be in service? Germany. Oh, just following orders. Isn't it convenient now that you can just follow orders? So they say she was a secretary. Well, in this clip, she says she's going on missions, that she nearly got shot. A bullet goes by her head in a terrorist city. Now, I don't want to get into the whole politics of it. I do in the full version. That episode, by the way, is called Did Hila Klein Kill Kids? I believe, which spoilers, the answer is yes. You can go check that one out on the Pizza Fund. PODAWFUL. It's probably free. It might be a free episode. PODAWFUL.com, PODAWFUL.pizza. If you want to see the full thing, I go into great detail about this because I happen to know some stuff about this. You know, unlike Hasan Piker and Ethan Klein, I'm not going to sit here and bore you with dumb politics shit. But I know about the Oslo Accords, and I know what they say, and I know about the Second Intifada, and I know that Hila, in this video, on camera, is admitting to war crimes. She said they went in secretly at night to a city in the West Bank and started shooting at people for having guns, a thing that they're allowed to have. And why wouldn't they have guns? And this isn't me taking a side on the Israel. I don't give a shit. I'm just telling you what it is. Why wouldn't they have guns if people are sneaking in at night, calling them terrorists, and shooting at them while they're sleeping, while the children are asleep? Hila was there for that. So you don't get to just go, I was a secretary. They just rode me into the terrorist city as I brayed into the night. You don't get to get away with that anymore. But the thing that kind of got lost in all of that, obviously Hila is an IDF soldier. Obviously she did, shoot at people, and she was part of child murdering missions and, war crimes. The thing that's less obvious is what people don't ever talk about with the whole Israel birthright thing is the point of it. Now, the point of it is they want the Jews who go there to stay there. But the way they do that is they set them up, it's a bunch of nebbish, nerdy Jewish guys, right? Imagine, Woody Allen, your typical New York stereotype. He's afraid of getting on the airplane because of his allergies. He's never seen a woman nude in his life. The idea of touching a woman's thigh sends him into an erotic state that is so terrifying that they would actually have to draw up new laws about it. He would be sent away forever with Harvey Weinstein. So they know that. They know that the kids coming there, like, it's a bunch of nerdy, nebbish Jewish guys, horny. They're all horny. They literally set them up to meet girls there, to try to keep them there. And that's what happened with Ethan. It worked. They set him up with Hila. That's just true. They've admitted this. He went to the Holocaust Museum on Birthright and met Hila and then stayed there for 4 years. Why do they want you to stay there? Well, it's not necessarily that they want you there forever. Obviously, they want as many people, they want as much population as they can get. They want more people to serve in the IDF, so on and so forth. They do want some of them to eventually go out. They want some of them to become the diaspora of Israel, to spread the good word. The good word is bad, by the way. And when it comes to Ethan and Hila, this is especially true. They want you there for a certain amount of time to indoctrinate you. Even the anti-Semitic amongst you probably think this is just like hardwired, genetically coded into them. But there is a certain amount of brainwashing that even, a guy going on Birthright needs to go, everything Israel does is good. Now, of course, Ethan has been put in a hard place. He probably had to contact his handlers, Bibi. He had to call up Netanyahu and say, what do I do now? They're on to us. Hila admitted to the war crimes. And he was probably given the green light to go ahead and say, pretend like you still like Palestinians anyway. So that's where we're at. The entire H3 operation, which started in Israel, this is uncontested. The entire setup of all of this stuff is an Israeli operation. It was born in Israel. It came from Israel. Their first videos were all shot in Israel. Then they moved to New York City. I was in New York when they were there. I saw them there in the streets. They went to New York City, started connecting with all the other YouTubers, started getting dirt and docs on all the other YouTubers. Who does this sound like? What other op does this kind of remind you of? Somebody getting very close and getting information on, somebody like that. Maybe they've got dirt on certain people. Maybe Filthy Frank had to become Joji. Maybe he had to leave the internet because he was afraid of what people knew secretly about him behind the scenes. What kind of compromat may they have on a guy like, what was the guy's name? John Tron. Didn't he get in big trouble? His whole career cascaded downward. And then what do? They move to LA. And now they have mansions and they're friends with all the LA people, which is a more powerful set. And they keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Who does he make his best friend? Hasan Piker. Who's Hasan Piker? Mr. Palestine, Mr. Hamas. Okay, there's a reason behind all of this shit. Nobody's going to buy that. They're going to, even the people who truly believe in the things I have to say, they're going to write this off as me joking. I am not fucking joking when I say I truly believe that the Israeli government set up a fake meet cute between Ethan Klein and Hila Klein in order for them to marry, in order for them to take over YouTube. And it worked. It worked. But what happened? They start talking politics. They start doing the heavy propaganda, the psyopaganda, and they start falling off. That's when they lost it. Now, I've talked about this on the show before. When we made fun of the H3 podcast, I pointed out that he's got an entire script in front of him. That entire podcast, he's reading during it. And this was the beginning of the end, the beginning of the change with H3 is when they started doing that podcast. He's got a laptop in front of him and it tells him every single thing to say on it. Well, who typed it up? I don't know. Listen, I'm not saying that these guys, did the horror outside of 9/11 or anything. I'm not even sure how aware of this situation they are. These are idiots. They're useful idiots. Like, clearly they're being pushed in a certain way. Their cognizance of this might be zero for all I know. You look into his eyes and tell me this is like a mastermind. You can't. You can barely look into his eyes. If you could keep his eyes focused on your eyes long enough before his eyebrows send them into orbit, then maybe Jesse is not suicidal, they say in chat. Well, it gets sicker, though. This isn't even the sickest part. So assume everything I said is true, all right? And it is. But assume everything I said is true. This is how bad it's gotten. Hila, being the one who was brought up in this, indoctrinated in it from birth, Hila comes to America and she starts to change. And she gets to make her little clothing line. They give her that one so that she can stay occupied. She's got nothing to add. Once they've hired a team of camera people, what does Hila have to do? She should just be the one holding the camera on the floor here, right? She doesn't have like great things to add to the conversation. They're going to bring on Hasan Piker to talk about, the intricacies of the two-state solution. What's Hila going to add? Ha! Ethan! Oh! Hila, how do you feel about it? Click your hooves twice for yes. So they give her a little thing, a little side project to work on. She becomes a wife. They've had 3 kids now. They have to do that. Beat replacement. You have to have 3 kids to beat replacement, right? It's all by design. It's all by design. She's no longer a part of any of this. She barely appears on camera. She's barely part of any of the everyday goings-ons. And it's even more insidious than you realize. Watch this.
Completely flattened during this war. And while we should keep their plight at the top of our minds at all time, it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the lives of the Jewish people who are also affected by this.
Right.
Even if they're suffering on the whole.
The people who were raping the children and killing them that you were talking about 2 seconds ago? Right.
Is not as great. Some of you may
pray for Israel.
Know that I'm an Israeli dual citizen.
No!
My wife is Israeli.
What?
My kids are half Israeli.
Is that how it even works?
And my entire in-law is Israeli.
And by the way, Hila, Israeli, means they know for a fact she's Jewish, so these kids are Jewishy Jewish.
Lived there for 5 years, and I grew
5 years. I said 4. It was 5.
To a closeness with the country and its people. One of
Really?
the biggest issues between me, Hasan, and his community.
So he was just he was like a normal guy. He wanted to be funny. He wanted to be a comedian. He wanted to do Tim and Eric. He was just doing Tim and Eric ripoffs on YouTube. He goes on Birthright. He goes over there. He's standing there at the Holocaust Museum in front of the big pile of shoes, everyone's favorite exhibit. Somehow, every city on Earth has a Holocaust museum, and every single one of them. By the way, this Holocaust museum was probably in Ramallah. You know, Hila went in there and cleared out all the kids, and they built a Holocaust museum right on fucking top of them. And I'll tell you one thing, those shoes, they're not Jewish shoes. They look oddly childlike and Palestinian in certain, the weaving of them is distinctly Palestinian. Every single one of these museums, a big pile of shoes. And he's sitting there admiring the dust, the new dust they've added on. They have a guy come around, a nighttime maintenance / janitor guy. And he sweeps up and he dusts off all of the exhibits. And then he goes to the pile of shoes and he takes the dust from everything else and he dumps it on top of the shoes, makes them nice and dusty. And he's sitting there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this big horse-tooth freak goes, ah! Just falls from the ceiling, from the catwalk and the rafters, ah! On top of him. And boom, H3H3 was born.
Was that I am in favor of a two-state solution, while they are in favor of a one-state solution. Their theory is that...
Now, that sounds like, well, then he couldn't possibly be... Israel wants a one-state solution. He's in favor... Well, who the fuck gives a shit what you're in favor of? They're not doing what... He can say anything.
After the October 7th attack, Israel should just dissolve its borders and let Hamas enter Israel.
And again, the border you're talking about is the one that your wife crossed into to the terrorist city and shot at the people.
Restrained.
What do you think Israel should have done in response to October 7th?
Don't care, don't care, don't care.
70 plus years, and it makes a lot of sense that there be some distrust there. Is it really insane to think that Jews, as an ethnic minority in Israel, would not be safe? After all, Israel is a country of refugees. If the Jews didn't come from Europe after the Holocaust, they came from the surrounding Arab countries that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba. 1 million Jews. All of these surrounding Arab...
And so, as you can see, pray for Palestine.
Countries had vibrant Jewish communities in huge number, hundreds of thousands. Now, if you look at them, you're looking at close.
Now there's 6 million gone. Every year, there's another 6 million of them gone.
Close to, if not literally, 0 Jews left in these countries.
Oh my God. What will we do? That explains why I can't log into Pornhub.
Just to give you an idea, here's a visual representation of the Jewish refugees after 1948. Morocco had 265,000 Jews. Now,
controlled opposition, they say in chat.
It has 2,000. Algeria had 140,000. Now it has about 50.
They walk single file to hide their numbers, people. I mean, listen, they live in sand for a reason.
He's the one Afghan Jew.
They were forced to leave their homes, their lives, their property, and migrate to the only place in the world that would accept them, which was Israel. The irony of this whole situation is that...
the one place that would accept that, you took a place where people were already living and just carved it out and said it's ours now. It didn't exactly accept you. There was a war over this.
After the 1948 war, when Israel...
Oh, suddenly you remember. Oh, okay.
Won the war to declare its independence, the Arab...
Won the war to declare its independence. What is that? Who owned it exactly then? Who were you getting independent from?
Countries got super anti-Semitic against their own Jewish...
It's crazy. Somehow, they just come into a country and then everybody starts getting anti-Semitic. I don't get it. How come every time we show up, everybody's suddenly getting so anti-Semitic? How is this possible? I don't
citizenry that had nothing to do with Israel. And as a result, they kicked them all out, 1 million plus of them, and forced them to go the one place they hated the most, Israel. And now those same people that forced them out of their homes are telling them they don't belong there. So if the Jews of Israel are surrounded by Islamic militant terrorist groups...
He picked a picture of Hezbollah doing a Nazi salute. That's got to be the one photo of that existing.
...that have stated their goal is to annihilate Israel as a Jewish state, and considering the historical context of Jews being pogromed from Arab countries, is it really that crazy for them to not feel safe as an ethnic minority?
I got to be honest. He could be right about every single thing he's saying, but it sounds like he learned all of these words today, so I can't trust any of them. I don't know. What is the solution? Hitler had one. Now, what is the solution to all that? I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to be clear about this. I don't have a side, okay? Israel, Palestine. I'm not, and it's not even one of those like nuke them, glass the whole Middle East. I don't care. You know? It's like the end of The Fugitive. I'm Tommy Lee Jones on this one. Oh, you have ideas? I don't care. I just don't care. Oh, Israel's our greatest ally? Why? Why? What did they do for me? What are they doing that makes them such a good ally? I guess in fairness, they did warn us about 9/11 before it happened.
Even a little bit.
And that's pretty much the entirety of our disagreement. Despite what you've read on TikTok and Twitter, I've donated $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started.
Hey, Ethan Klein, thank you for the dono. Ethan Klein gave $6,500. My goat. Thank you, Ethan.
Condemned
it's almost $1 million.
Netanyahu as a war criminal.
They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal.
Called the West Bank settlement.
Then what does Hila need to do? Does she need to resign from Teddy Fresh? I'm sorry, but you must leave in disgrace as the CEO of Teddy Fresh. We're going to have to find a new Jewish person to run our silly adult children's clothing company.
An abomination.
Settlers in the West Bank
We're going to need somebody new to steal designs from other smaller creators to put on to what's basically a big pair of Oshkosh Bagash.
Religious zealots, they're monsters, they're genocidal.
I've even said the West Bank settlers are valid military targets.
When you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank right now. And these people are more or less valid military targets, in my opinion.
My only crime is wanting a two-state solution instead of one, and thinking it's not okay to kill Israeli civilians. That's it. That's why they're calling me a Nazi Zionist. And because of Hasan and others spreading this malicious lie about my beliefs, I'm even getting harassed on the street.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
This is the video I was talking about. Perfect. Okay. So this is why. This is why they have to do this now. By the way, look at the absolute criminally evil look on Hila's face. That's a lizard. She's in the middle of transformation. I've seen enough videos and documentaries on this to know Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton, they all turn into lizards through their eyes. And what the fucking fuck is going on there? Her teeth are coming out. She's trying to bite her own hand off. She's doing one of the most evil smiles of all time. This is a horror movie smile. And then, more importantly, can you be a little less comfortable in your own vehicle, Ethan? Put your leg down. The airbag's going to come out and rocket your knee through your fucking forehead. And I'm going to be honest, I'm here for it, baby.
Palestine.
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're... wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Oh, here we go. Watch this.
Mandatory service.
That's
She's born
sad.
there.
That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad.
She was born there. Well, you know, a lot of guys were born in Germany, too. They called it the fatherland. I'm not sure. A lot of people were in Nuremberg that were just following orders, man.
I feel bad for you guys.
Nuremberg?
Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist, bro.
You look like a rapist. That's maybe a bridge too far. Okay, so there's one little part I want to show you guys.
Okay.
The funny thing about me, I don't like terrorism, and I don't like terrorists. If they're Jews, Christians,
certainly if they're terrorist cities filled with children,
Muslims, they're all bad. What is terrorism? It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals.
What's a terrorist city then? I want to need that one defined for me.
I don't like it. None of it. And over time, I started to learn that my co-host, he really likes terrorists.
All right, you know what? We gotta skip here. Let me see if I can just find the moment that I'm looking for here. I gotta download VLC here for a second. Just give me 1 minute, because there's one very important thing. The whole time I was watching this video, I felt like, no. The whole time I was watching this video, I felt like, wait a second, there's something going on here. And, oh man, the transcript is not useful at all for this. Damn it. I knew I was noticing something that didn't make any sense. And I knew they were going for something that was a lie. Let me just check here.
To funnel in normies into radicalization.
Sorry, I'm just skipping to all the parts where you see him on
I'm just
camera.
saying. Was Hasan presenting a Trojan horse to my community, where he was just a left-leaning Democrat like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them against me. My trust in him, and I pretty much ended the show immediately. And I felt guilty for my participation in mainstreaming Hasan. And for that, I apologize. I should have done more research, and I should have looked more deeply into who I was getting in bed with before they gave me...
Everyone screamed it at you. Everyone was telling... There was no research needed. You knew. Everyone knew.
Chlamydia. Sorry, Hila.
Whoa. Here we go. Watch this. So the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, so they're going for the old aesthetic. The camera person is on the floor, and I meant to believe that Hila Klein, the resigned and disgraced CEO of Teddy Fresh, am I to believe this mother of three who thinks she's now a fashion icon, by the way, this deluded monkey, am I to believe that she is sitting on the floor filming this, and it's not just some unpaid intern they have working for them? By the way, they had to set up a table for this. You know, he didn't have a desk, a corner desk here for him to look at the computer, just like the old videos. This is all a setup. So you think for an instant that wife is on the floor, and then this happened.
More deeply into who I was getting in bed with before they gave me chlamydia. Sorry, Hila. Over the past...
Sorry, Hila. As if she's behind the camera. Let me tell you something right now. There is no way, no earth, where Hila is sitting on that floor filming this. Hila didn't even know how a camera worked back then. He would have to get it running for her and then throw it at her and go, just point it at me. And she'd be like, ah. It was like Paranormal Activity for half of their video. Most of their editing was just trying to get Hila pointing the camera the right direction. So if you think for a second, I need somebody. I need a brave journalist, a citizen of this world, Salvo Pancakes. I need you. Somebody needs to go in and do the hard work to figure out if Hila could have even possibly been there for this. We need to figure out, when was this filmed? When did they time all of these things? Was Hila tweeting at the time? Was she posting something else? Was she on Instagram? Is she even in the same city? I'm not even sure they're still married. There is a very real possibility that Hila's not even with this guy anymore. You would never know. You would never find out. And now they're going to transition back to this setup where Hila's quiet, you don't ever see her, and he's just telling some dude with a beard on his floor, sitting there in his short shorts with his knees spread apart, pointing the camera at Ethan. He's going to call that guy his wife from now on. Hila Klein is not in this video. She is not part of this video. She wanted nothing to do with it. She doesn't even agree with the things he's saying. And of course not, because she is the true Israeli asset. I'm telling you right now, he is now, Ethan Klein has been reduced to pretending an intern is his own wife.
Support the show. Join the Pizza Fund. PodAwful.pizza.
Pizza, pizza.
PodAwful.pizza.
Whoa, they're saying the chat room, Red Bar might know, but I don't have the time to find it. Does Red Bar exist? I think he's still mourning his bathroom dog right now, so I don't think there's been, I don't know. PodAwful started going live every day. Red Bar stopped as a show entirely. I'm not exactly sure what happened. There's people kept sending me messages going, when's Red Bar coming back? And I go, how the fuck would I know? I didn't even know he was gone. And apparently he hasn't done a show in over a month. And then I start getting messages and they're like, his dog died. Uh-oh. His 17-year-old dog that he used to keep locked up in a bathroom, turding all over itself, drinking out of the turlet, died. Who could have seen this coming? A 17-year-old dog? So I guess now he doesn't get the woofer tax anymore. I don't know what the BBG is going to do if they can't screenshot an ear pixel walking by. It's so sad. Podawful.com/cult if you want to call in. We've got some more. Red Bar died, they're saying. I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They're pretending. He's doing the Steven Crowder bit, by the way. We did an episode about this a while back. Steven Crowder started lying, saying that his dog died. It didn't. In fact, I think it's still alive. This is like 2017 or something. And yeah, so he just stopped doing shows. He's like, yeah, my dog's dead, so I don't do shows anymore for a while until I feel better. I mean, listen, you know, your dog dies. It's a sad thing, but if it's 17, it's like you got lucky. You got extra time with it. I feel like you could just pack up and get things moving again pretty quickly after that. Craziest part, by the way, and all of that is, you know, his dog died and they posted some Instagram thing about, oh, my dog. Then fucking a couple days later, you know, Andy Worski, he can't help himself. He's copying Red Bar so hard, he murdered his cat. I mean, no offense to Andy. It's sad, but he just decided to put down his cat. I saw it the other day. He was like, oh, no Kino Casino tonight. I'm killing my cat at the vet. What do you call it? Putting it down. I'm putting it down. Which I thought putting something down is what I did on this show. I didn't know it was murdering a guy. So yeah, I don't know. I guess, you know, clapping. Red Bar invented clapping and murdering your pet. Anyway, speaking of, speaking of clapping, you know, I just realized I got to show this to you another way here. Natalie Cuomo. Have you guys seen this clip going around? People are losing it over this clip. It actually is very funny. Let me see if I can find the shorts version of this. Did she take this down too? Heckler confronts comedian. Ugh, gross. All right, so you've probably seen this video going around. Let's check this out here. You've probably seen this video going around. The Natalie Cuomo heckler video. This is incredible stuff. I love this video. I love this video in ways I can't even begin to explain to you. Check this out. I'll just show it to you. You tell me what you think afterward, and then we'll talk about it. Check this out.
Oh my god, I love it! Okay, wait, what made you want to ask him? Huh?
Why are you making it sound like we're a couple?
Oh my god, don't get scared.
It's not my material.
What? Oh, it's not that. Wow, it's not that. Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
I could leave right now if
well,
I
I can
wanted.
roast you too. You can't just roast all of us and get up.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yes. So if you don't know Natalie Cuomo, we were talking about this a few episodes. This is on a World War episode. I can't get over the fact that every stand-up comedian is now a crowd work guy. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts has forced all of these stand-ups who hate improv, by the way, to become improv guys. Now, there's only one problem with that. Stand-ups are terrible at improv. They are the least funny people on their feet. And you can know this for a fact because all you have to do is watch their shitty podcasts. The moment they have to be quick on the fly is the moment they fucking die. So what they do is they record hours and hours and hours of nothing but crowd work, which, by the way, is just a way, it's cheating. It's cheating as a comedian. Basically, it's being an improv guy and just doing the part where you go, let me get a suggestion for something. What's a funny occupation? And you go, a funny occupation? So it's my job now, the audience man, to be the funny guy? What's a funny occupation? That's their entire thing. They just go up to the audience now and go, hey, sir, what do you do for work? And please say it's something gay so I can make fun of you to your fucking face. It's really incredible. And they're so bad at it. Check this out.
I see. So you were afraid because you felt like I was saying you're gay.
I can take the mic if you want.
The heckler is threatening to take the microphone. Now, at first you think, okay, a comedian's bombing. It's just a heckler. Most of these dudes, most of the male comedians, they have, this is the funniest part, they're pretending to do improv on stage. Every single time you see a stand-up comedian, they're pretending like they're telling you these jokes for the first time. Some of them even laugh at that. Like Dave Chappelle sits there and he slaps his knee with his own microphone like he just came up with. It's like you've said that to 200 audiences already. Stop pretending. I don't want to be a part of your make 'em up, you know? And now, because they're doing this crowd work shit, they got to pretend like they're coming up with these responses. What they do is, here's the thing. You don't realize this. They go out to the audience. It turns out most people are all retarded monkeys with nothing going on in their lives. So when they say, what do you do for a living? They've already heard 50 other dudes tell them the exact same stupid job. Now, the occasional good video, like these shorts that pop off and go viral for the crowd work shit, which they're all hoping. They're all just sitting there praying every time. I hope I get the insane guy in the audience. Some of them are even planting dudes in the audience now. That's how rehearsed this shit is. Every once in a while, some guy's like, oh, actually, I'm a male prostitute. And it's like, whoa! But even that, they've probably heard before. So they have preloaded jokes for it. Same thing with hecklers. You got a heckler, you've got preloaded material as a stand-up for hecklers. It's never off the cuff. It's never the first time they've ever said any of that shit. I've seen comedians even upload their epically owning a heckler videos, the most embarrassing shit ever. If you're being heckled, by the way, you're doing a bad job as a comedian, okay? You failed already. If one guy in the audience is like, boo, then you're bombing. When you upload that, it's just you uploading you going, actually, I'm good. Back to the heckler. And this is what's incredible is years ago, I had an episode of the show called Stand Up is Dead. And I said, the internet has changed everything. Stand up has been stinking for so long, and it's only going to get worse. And as more and more of these stand-up comedians become podcasters, it's going to get even worse. And sure enough, obviously, that's what's happened to the point where it's not even really worth it to check out these podcasts and make fun of them anymore. It's just the same thing fucking over and over again. You want yesterday's content, but again today? I've got that for you. And I said, the internet has made it so that the heckler is now the comedian. The funniest guy in the room is the dude in the audience shouting, screaming. You know why? Chat rooms. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Finally, stand-up comedians have to deal with the thing that I've had to put up with as a podcaster and as a streamer for years and years and years now. there are people in the chat room who are going, boo, fuck you, this blows. And they don't know how to handle it. And in real life, you can't block them. You can't mute them. You don't have 50 people in the audience with wrenches. That's where this one's actually different. Natalie Cuomo was handing out wrenches to her chat before her stand-up. Watch this.
It's okay, he's your new friend. I will say this, like, it is such a hard time in this world right now. There's so many people that came together to be supportive and fucking amazing.
What? This is a comedy show. What are you talking about? Now, when I first watched this video, I couldn't believe where it was going. I have been to a million comedy shows. I've never seen anything this embarrassing.
And you're putting no, fucking look me in the eyes. You're putting negative fucking energy out here. This is the last show of my fucking, look me in the fucking eyes. It's the last, look at me. It's the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show and you want to say mean shit to me, okay? So don't fucking do that.
Like Mersh's audience. Oh, we believe you, Mersh. The car wasn't repoed. Mersh.
You can leave.
Now, please remember, she uploaded this. This isn't like a random guy in the audience going, I can't believe how embarrassing this is. Everyone needs to see it. She chose this, but it's nicely edited for her. And even then, most people are like, this is insane. This woman's losing it. By the way, Natalie Cuomo is what they call comedian hot. She's got terrible, she's like Ian Jomha with the, flash wall tattoos. She's just picking the Sailor Jerry's off the wall of every shop she walks into. She's just ruining her body with the earth's dumbest tattoos. And she's what passes for hot in a comedy club. Basically, it just means you're not fat or overly, how do I put this? Entering terrorist cities in your spare time, if you understand my drift.
This guy's texting his friend. It's so cute.
She's just dirty. She's like a dirty, fucking, she looks like me. The way you imagine me in your head minus my famous hat and pipe, that's Natalie Cuomo.
You can leave too. I won't be.
She's Melanie Mack. There's a little bit of that. So she tells the guy he can leave too, or she tells the guy's friend he can leave too. Turns out the guy who just heckled her is texting the friend in the audience. So he gives her the phone.
LOL, what a fucking clown. I did warn you I would get kicked out. Man, she is sensitive, especially for a comedian.
Oh, no, not you, Natalie. She takes a selfie on the guy's phone of her sticking up the middle finger and sends it to his friend. She thinks she owned the hater, might as well monetize her loss. I mean, form your hug box somewhere else. This is pathetic. Oh, she can't believe this is so crazy. Now, here's the thing. Natalie uploaded this as a short, as she tends to do. This is where her entire career is based off of Instagram reels. She's, when I was talking about the people who constantly post on Instagram their crowd work videos, this is who I was thinking of. Literally, this was weeks ago, and I was basically talking about Natalie Cuomo. Let's try. Oh, no, don't do that to me. If I open a new link. Let's try this.
Play. New York City. Is anyone from New York City? Yeah. You are? Oh, my God. That's why you've had 5 therapists.
That's fake crowd work. I clicked a random video. And she's doing fake crowd. Is anyone from New York City? And then he goes, yeah. It's like a mentalism trick. She just was going to say that response to anyone who said they were from New York City.
Where in New York are you from? Oh, okay. Where'd you go to high school? Oh, wow. All right. A lot of drugs when you were younger?
Literally doing mentalism right now. I'm getting the letter. Does the letter J? Does anybody with a J name mean anything to you?
Oh, okay. You weren't.
Judaism. Okay, maybe.
Okay, I'm really
Every time I open Instagram, this annoying idiot is recommended to me.
proud of you. That's a really big deal. That's awesome. Wow.
I've never seen a single funny clip. There's not. By the way, there are funny crowd work stand-up videos out there. Don't get me wrong. You know, even funny people are being forced to make these stupid videos. I've seen Nick Mullen posting these. It's pathetic. It's my handyman, Nick Mullen, very funny guy. His crowd work videos, funny, but doing it is kind of pathetic. It's chasing a trend.
I was cool. I'm not anymore, though. That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Did you have a therapist in high school?
This is, I mean, this isn't even comedy. What is this? This is just a girl being girly.
Yeah, I had two. Okay. I'm just one-upping you in every way. No, growing up in New York, when did you learn how to drive? Oh, wow. That's pretty good. 17, 18. I learned to drive when I was 24. So it's... Because you take
So what, like last year? Who taught you to drive? Louis J. Gomez?
the subway to school every day. You're like, I don't need to learn how to drive. But I'm a terrible
Yo, doggy, I'll teach you how to drive. Just get in here. We'll listen to Slipknot together.
driver. Is anyone else a woman?
Okay, so there you go. I get these terrible, terrible clips sent to me all the time. Now, the fascinating thing is Natalie Cuomo went... she not only uploaded the shorts version, she uploaded the unedited version entirely to her YouTube channel. And then the short went viral on Twitter. And everyone on Twitter said, you look ridiculous. The heckler fucking won. Heckle, Hector, harass, harangue, henchmen. It's happening. The hectoring, the heckling, it's on. Hecklers are taking over. And she got so scared of what was going on that she took down the video from her YouTube. The short version is still up. The short is like some sort of what is it, Eliana? What's that thing called where the ink blot is an ink blot test? What's that called? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Rorschach?
A Rorschach. This short is like a Rorschach test. Basically, if you're a girl, you think it's the greatest thing you've ever seen. Like, Eliana, you were just sitting there watching that short where you like, you go girl, tell that asshole who's boss.
I found myself confused because at first, like, if I wasn't looking at it, I would think she's the one complaining about a comedian. And the guy was a comedian.
This is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. The stage needs, in every comedy club, needs to be lowered now. The comedian should be the lowest man in the room and looking up at everyone in the chairs around him, the spotlight on them as they just point and laugh at him and harass and hector. These freaks have had it too good for too long. I demand the henchmen in this audience, you go to comedy clubs. I want you there. I want you going to see these shows. And I want you interrupting. And I want you heckling and harassing and hectoring. It's got to happen. I want you to bring your chat room energy. We got a chat room right now. Let's see what they're saying. We got a chat room. Let's see. What are they saying in the chat room? It's heckling time. Not my style, but deal. Like those old school surgeries. I don't know what that means. She reminds me of Melody Mack. Somebody already said that. Bring this chat energy, your stupid, idiotic concepts and comments. Bring that energy to their stage. Force them to hear your retard thoughts, okay, while they're trying to remember their little script. How funny is it? You ever been to a play and somebody interrupts? I saw a clip the other day. Some famous person was doing a big play. I don't remember who it was. Sigourney Weaver or something was doing The Tempest, a Shakespearean play. And then the Just Stop Oil idiots walked out. I'm not joking. This is one of the most insane things I've ever seen, actually, now that I think about it. She's sitting there on the stool, and on the stage, they've put dirt all over the stage to make it seem real, like she's outside. And a naked man, climbs up out of the dirt. I don't know what goes on in this play that needs to be happening, but he's like a zombie scurrying out of the dirt. And in the middle of him doing that, these two retards with signs in their orange t-shirts walk out, just standing there, and nobody knows what to do. The zombie man is like, I guess I just leave now. He just walks off the stage. He's like, I came out of the dirt for nothing. You can tell he's so upset. He was under that dirt for 2 hours, holding his breath. He doesn't know what to do. Now, imagine if it's so funny at every play you ever go to, any sort of theatrical experience, when someone interrupts, it's usually the funniest thing that happens, whether intentionally or not. Even a guy sneezing at the wrong time or coughing can be like one of the funniest. You ever been to a movie theater and it like gets real quiet in the movie and some dude just coughs and everyone laughs? You're like, what the fuck? It's got to happen. The stand-up comedians have been too comfortable. They've gotten too unfunny. You only get Natalie Cuomo's in an environment where stand-up is just allowed to exist in any form. You don't even have to try. She's going up there. She doesn't even have material. She's probably like writing it down, her jokes down on a napkin. She literally tours with her boyfriend. Like that's the only person that she can get on a bill with her. She's actually supported by, like, in the exact way that you would assume a woman has to ride on a man's back to get anywhere. She's doing it with zero compunction. Is that a fucking word? I don't know. Anyway, this video is crazy. The full unedited version is absolutely insane. And I just want to say this. I did live comedy for like 13 years. No, wait, longer. Fucking 15 to 17 years, somewhere in there. I got on stages and made people laugh, okay? I want to be very clear about something. You wouldn't think it of me. You would never believe this to be true about me. But when I go see a comedy show, I try to be incredibly respectful, okay? I try not to make a big scene, draw attention. I never heckle or anything like that. I have this thing in me where if somebody's trying, if somebody is attempting to do something and they're really trying, I need to make sure it goes off without a hitch. If you've ever seen me in someone else's chat room and it's not someone I'm making fun of, it's someone I like, I'm helping. I'm in the chat. I'm trying to make the show go as smoothly as possible, things like that. When I see a live comedy show, I've always been this way because I started doing comedy at 13 years old, okay? So, you know, I've been to some really rough fucking shows. Stand-up, sketch, improv, weird experimental shit, you name it. I've sat in some real gross, tough crowds, okay? And I've even told the story on the show before where when I first moved to New York City, you know, I had this in me. I'd already been doing comedy for 10 years. I had this notion in me. You never interrupt and you only try to elevate. When a comedian is like obviously bombing, giving them a little bit of laughter that maybe isn't so real, but not too much to make it seem like it's pity laughs and stuff. I was doing all that shit, and I went and saw Sherrod Small do stand. He was hosting, which means he was doing crowd work. Okay, this was 2009. Now nobody knew who Sherrod Small was then, but I did. I had seen him on all them VH1, I remember the 90s shows and things like that. And I knew that he wasn't really that funny. But I was sitting there giving him all the kind business I possibly could. And then what did he do? He starts, because he's bombing, he starts bailing on his material. And he starts finding people in the audience to single out, to do some crowd work. So who does he go to? The weird-looking long-hair kid. Okay, of course he does. I knew. I'd been in black clubs before. I knew what was going to happen with me sitting there. Now, I'm not going to get into the fucking dirty details of all this. And if you've already heard this story, I don't want you to get bored here. So suffice to say, he sat there trying to make fun of me. It was also bombing. And I sat there and allowed him to do it. And I just went along with every dumb hack thing he had to say about me that I'd heard a million times, right? But at one point, he slipped up. I don't even fully remember what it was at this point. But at one point, he slips up, and I respond in a way where I got a bigger laugh than him. And his entire demeanor changed. And then everything, it's not just playing around with me. It's an attack on me. He didn't like that moment. And I could tell in that moment he knew. I wasn't heckling. I was not heckling. But I talked back. The way the guy in this video talked back, where he's like, hey, listen, you're going to fucking roast us. You're going to turn the microphone to us. Get ready. I might say something back. I said something back. After the show, I'm standing there on the sidewalk. Sherrod Small comes up to me and he goes, you can tell he's seething. He's seething in this moment. But he goes, you were pretty funny. You do comedy? He knew. He knew. I was like, yeah, I do comedy. He was like, I knew it. Well, you do stand-up? And I was like, nah, not. I mean, every once in a while, not really. I don't really like stand-up. You're not supposed to say this to a stand-up comedian. I don't really like it, but yeah, I do some comedy. I do live comedy. And he's like, okay, well, I'll see you around. And he had this look on his face like, fuck you. This was at the beginning of the show. That whole show, he came out more times and tried to slam dunk on me. And I just went with everything. He's, Sherrod, you're so funny. You got me. And it was boiling up inside that he had to confront me. I was a kid, by the way. I was a little baby, basically. I might as well have been Josh Moon. And he had to confront me afterward about it. Comedians are not used to this stuff. That was probably the worst I've ever been at a show. I'm always so nice in a live show to people. All I did was give a little bit back. I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't even that impressive. They are such babies. Their egos are so fragile. So imagine, and by the way, black comedians are usually very, very funny. Black guys are super funny. So imagine being an unfunny, you got there by sucking cock all the way, idiot woman comedian. Imagine that for a second. You have had everything handed to you by Louis J. Gomez and every other dude you've sucked off along the way. And for the first time ever, a dude turns that back around on you. Women can't handle this in normal life. Women have never heard the word no before. So the second this happens, it's a meltdown. And there's a reason she took down the full version of the video. Let's take a look at it now, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, the big board. Here's the uncut version. Thank you to whoever
Big board looks great, Colonel.
preserved this on Reddit for us. This is actually amazing stuff. Take a look at this. Just gives a little bit more context, a little bit more fun.
I want you guys to be better friends. So is our first time hanging out outside of the...
Jesse P.S. was the first white comic at the Apollo for Def Jam. That's true too, actually. By the way, look at this fucking... it's like the DC Comedy Loft, okay? This looks like a fake, like she had this constructed for her just to practice doing comedy. Literally a brick wall. Are you fucking kidding me? And the sign. What is going on with this? Did nobody plan for the frame? It says at the
hiding
bottom.
The N.
What is that? Hiding ends. Maybe that's what they should have done with Sherrod Small when I showed up in the audience. Look, the Amity Club and Tavern. Okay. Go back. Listen, go back to your sign guy and go, I'm sorry, we messed up. I'll pay you. We need to redo this. You can't just put this up. An Amity Club and Tavern? I don't even know what I get at a tavern. So far, the sign is funnier than Natalie Cuomo.
Yes.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, yeah. What? Wow. Whose idea was that?
It's going to be a little hard to hear some of these things. Just to give you, just so you kind of understand and know where we're sitting here. She's talking to the guys in front. She's only doing crowd work. This is her camera. Again, she set this up hoping for a moment like this. The guys in front, she's basically like, she's doing the classic bit of, I'm making two guys sitting next to each other seem gay. It's like, so what? So just to be clear, stand-up comedians, do you not want us to bring our friends? Because a lot of you guys, in order to get on stage, have to bring your friends. You know, a lot of these people are doing these bringer shows where they're literally not allowed to get on stage unless they bring 10 people of their own. Just guys they know. Make them pay for drinks and stuff. It's pathetic.
Oh my god, I love it! Okay, wait, what? I want to ask him.
She keeps doing this, too. She keeps doing these cutesy girl things. And then it's never getting her any play. Like, nobody enjoys it, but she just keeps trying it. It's all she knows. Look at this. A guy gets up and leaves. So she's now walking the room. It's so boring. And the craziest part is you can't do crowd work just to the two guys you're talking to. This is what she's getting wrong. Like, crowd work, you look at everyone else while talking about the dude over there. You don't. She's talking to them. So now everybody else in the audience they're just having their own conversations. They're just getting bored.
Oh my god, don't be scared.
Yeah, so now the guy says, stop acting like we're a couple. He says, it's not my fault if you don't have any material. I'm putting a 50-50 bet that this dude in the audience is a comedian. Even just calling it material makes me suspicious. This guy knows something. I don't know. Maybe he's just a fan of making fun of these people or something. Maybe he's a henchman. I don't know what's going on. But you don't just say that. That's a fucking move. That's bold. That's wildly bold. We love this guy.
It's not that. Wow, it's not that. Wow, look at you. Yeah. I could leave right now.
And look, she says she could leave right now. The audience is getting up and go. Everybody's just getting up and going to the point where it's blurring the camera.
I can roast you too. You can't just roast all of us and get nothing.
Whoa! Biggest reaction of the entire set. And again, she uploaded this. Yeah, welcome to PODAWFUL. Exactly.
I see. So you were afraid because you felt like I was saying you're gay.
I can take the mic if you want.
Okay, now that might be a bridge too far. Threatening to take the microphone from her. But I like it. It's bold, it's brash, it's hip, it's new.
It's okay, he's your new friend. I have plenty of material that's embarrassing for you.
I have plenty of material that will be embarrassing for you. Can't wait to hear it, Natalie. You must have cut all of that out of the short.
Let's move on. Small dick energy. Let's clap for him.
Small dick energy. I don't remember if that was in the short or not, but of course, a woman who wouldn't be on this stage without putting a few small dicks in her mouth, the only type of, worth she understands is sexual. This is all she's got. It's like, who gives a shit about if the guy's got small dick energy? I'm sure he's not too worried about sticking his small dick up your giant mom shorts, by the way. Like, the oversized jeans you've got going on. Nobody's... The dudes who are fans of Natalie Cuomo, of which there must be dozens. Yes, obviously they just want to fuck her. Those dudes are rotten. That's a rotten brain. A normal man sees this woman's danger signs all over her arms and says, no, sir, not today.
I will say this, like, it is such a hard time in this world right now. There's so many people that came together to be supportive and fucking amazing, and you're putting negative, no, fucking look me in the eyes, you're putting negative fucking energy out here. This is the last show of my fucking, look me in the fucking eye.
This is a meltdown. This is a meltdown. There's no, you cannot edit out the fact that this is an unspooling of biblical proportions. There is no way to come back from something like this. Your career is over doing something like this. I guarantee you she's taking a big hit. You just yelling at a dude because he's not looking. Why should he look at you? You're insane. Of course he can't look at you. This is a terrifying thing to do. You're just squatting down. The idea that it's a hard time in the world right now, and people are coming together to be fucking amazing. What are you talking about? Is this an Israel-Palestine conflict thing I don't understand? What is going on? I would like to see the guy who's being yelled at, who's being, it feels like he's about to be put in the corner of the comedy loft here. I would like to see him get a minute on stage here. Let's hear him out. What if he is funnier than you? Maybe he's got really good material. Doing the whole look at me routine. Lady, take your fucking meds. This is a freak out. Her husband, again, they're on tour together. Her boyfriend or husband or whatever, he's in the crowd. He's probably one of the people you hear going, woo, trying to get the crowd on her side. He needs to go up there and restrain her. She's liable to try to break a bottle over the stool and slash a man's throat.
It's the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean shit to me.
When?
Okay? So don't fucking do that.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think started the Natalie chant? Okay, there's no way. There's no way that's just some random dude. I also have a feeling, too, that this is like one of those really terrible, shitty shows. She's saying it's a sold-out weekend, but I guarantee you there's a lot of comics in the audience here filling out these seats. She's Medusa. Never look into those black, beady eyes. You don't get to have your big Natalie and then everybody clap, like for the first time ever. And then everybody clapped moment happened on camera. You can prove it. But unfortunately, that's all taken away from you the second you face the brick wall crying. Like, you didn't win this one. Natalie! Natalie! I'd be in the audience going, heckler, heckler, woo! She's on the verge of tears. So then her husband says, I think your dick is bigger than his. Of course, this is a drunk audience. I always say this, but, it's a drunk audience. It doesn't count. Even if you weren't bombing, if you were getting the greatest laughs ever, these are drunks. Their thoughts and opinions do not matter when it comes to comedy. They might just be laughing at their own toes or something. They might just be in that moment where they're like, what I mean? I fucking love you. And that doesn't count as humor. Here's another thing, too. I'm just thinking of this for the first time. How many people are in this audience because they follow her on Instagram and they've seen those reels and they're going, oh, if I make noise, maybe I'll end up in the Instagram. I get to be on the Instagram, everybody. And then I tag myself in it. And I tell all my friends. That's cheating.
We love you.
This is worse than Clapter. It probably is her cuck boyfriend to create a viral moment. Yeah, I get these are all people just chasing viral moments.
Thank you. Yes. You can leave.
Well, what? He's shut up now. You made him look in the eyes. He turned him into stone. he's now quiet. He's not even interrupting anymore. Why does he have to leave? And the real answer is because he'll be in her periphery for the rest of the show, and she's going to have to keep facing that wall. And one day, I promise, every female comedian will have to face the fucking wall.
If you don't like it, get the fuck out. You can leave.
Whoa! Leave! Okay, you've seen this a million times with streamers. How many times have we fucked with somebody in a chat room and they just start having this panic? This is Mersh taking off the sunglasses and doing the look at me, but he's got to cross his fingers to point at his eyes. Look at me. Leave! I guarantee you the next short she puts out, the entire audience is just replaced with a QR code.
Have a drink, please.
Small tits energy. I love it. Wow. That's a great comment from Jay in chat. And it is small tits. And she does have small tits. Guys, can we just be honest about something? Even those of you that are sex pests like Destiny in the audience right now, and you're sitting there going, I want to like her. I want to simp for her. She doesn't even have tits. Come on. Listen, I go to see stand-up. I want a black guy hosting and calling everybody in the audience, silly for the shirt they're wearing. I want one funny, really funny white guy telling me about his dick. And I want one female comedian who I didn't hear a word she said, but her fucking honkers were out. Am I right, folks? All right. It doesn't matter what she has to say, as long as I know that she could provide my children with a meal and 2 free drinks. She's flat. Thank you. She's flat. They say she's flat. They say there's multiple people say she's flat. Is this are people quoting? So why did 2 guys at once say she's flat? What does that mean?
Natalie, you're the shit. That's gonna be awkward at work.
Natalie, you are the shit. That is true.
I said a comedian can't do
Yes, make it difficult for them. Go out, heckle, hector, harangue, harass. Get in there. When they start telling you to leave, drag it out. Ruin that show for everybody. It's time. It's time. We got to blend the internet with the IRL. It's finally time. Here he is. Our hero, by the way, the man in black. Should have knocked over her camera, too. Hey, where's all the hot material where you're going to destroy the guy? She's been quiet now for 3 minutes on stage. He destroyed this bitch. Yeah. I know it means flat. I just thought it was they're saying it means she's flat, like she doesn't have boobs. I know. I just mean it was crazy that 2 guys both said in all caps all at once, she's flat. I thought maybe there was like a movie or something. How about this? You can say anything you want to me in your crowd work as long as you have titties as a woman. Am I right? So that now they're bringing her alcohol. They're like, uh-oh. She's about to have a big baby panic on stage. We better fucking tamp this down.
For the fucking staff at the DC Comics.
Woo! Anything but you, Natalie. No, we can't laugh at you, but yes, we will clap for the waiters. She just checked in with her camera too. She's like looking over at her own camera angrily, realizing this has all been captured.
What?
PPP says she's flat. Okay, see, I knew they were quoting something. Is hectoring a term? I thought it was just a name for Hispanic men. Yes, actually, Hispanic men named Hector were named for this term. It means to, you know, harass a woman sexually. It makes a lot of sense for a Hispanic guy. You ever driven with your girlfriend in a car with your windows down, and then you're at a light and Hispanic guys in the car next to you pull up, and they will just shout stuff. It doesn't matter that you're there. Okay. And if you're like me and you've got long hair, then they might be shouting stuff at you too.
He couldn't look me in the eyes now.
Who could look you in the eye? I mean, you probably had blood in your eyes in that moment. That was terrifying. I was afraid you were going to scratch him.
I'm sorry.
Fucking cooked.
What?
Fucking cooked.
You cooked? Who's eating?
Oh, God.
Everybody at the same time just goes, they realize that wasn't true. There's no such thing as a female doing improv. No, that's not true. There's a lot of females doing improv. Not this one, though. The sign isn't even level. I think that might be from my angle here.
Doing her shit.
You guys have been a great crowd. I just really didn't want to be at the front, huh? Wow, it's crazy. Plenty of fans.
Oh, apparently she really did date Luis J. Gomez, friend of the show, Luis J. Gomez. In chat, I'm being told, apparently Luis even said that she's crazy, and he particularly said that she has crazy eyes.
I feel a little angry at the moment.
Wow.
You guys have been so fun, and I told you I had a temper. And
Female comic, mic drawn. Female comic.
Chug it. Chug it.
What's your sign?
Yes, my sign.
Taurus.
My sign.
Listen to the dudes in the audience. So, of course, again, woo! Female comedy. Female comedy is dancing and singing. They think that's really funny. It's saying my vagina, and it's talking about shit that doesn't mean fucking anything. That's just fucking nothing. Affects nobody. So the second the vibes are now going fully female in the room, you know, the one man of the crowd who was strong enough to say this blows, he's been taken out. Now the room is feminine. It doesn't matter how many women are actually in the audience. It's a female crowd now. So the first thing they do is go, what's your sign? Now I'm happy she actually did the right thing here. She says, you guess what it is.
What's your sign?
Yes, my sign.
Taurus.
And you can hear the guys go, oh, fuck. You're losing them, that. You're losing them. And they all say Taurus. This is my favorite thing to do. When some dumb idiot says, what's your sign? You make them guess. They're going to guess every fucking thing other than the right one. And then when you tell them the right one, they're going to go, that's why I said that one. Because those are basically the same. It's like, well, then they're all the same. It's all meaningless then, right?
My sign. Scorpio.
Oh, she's Sagittarius! So that's why she just had a complete fucking mental meltdown? That makes sense. Taurus, Sagittarius, they're both complete horrifying freaks. Okay, I'm gonna write a letter to the editor to make sure they add this to the birthday section tomorrow. Fire sign. Same, by the way. Same. I was also wanting him to look me in the eyes in that moment.
You can leave too. I won't be offended.
So here's the part where the guy hands her the phone again.
LOL, what a puppy
fucking clown. I did warn you I would get kicked out. Man, she is sensitive, especially for a comedian.
Okay, so everything that guy said was right and true and brave. I love that he calls her a clown and she read it. That's great. It's like when Mersh reads my comments in chat. I love that he said that she's so sensitive, especially for a comedian. That's true. The craziest part, though, is that apparently he told us this is a type of guy. He said to his friend beforehand, I'm telling you, I'm going to get kicked out. So now what I'm imagining is his friend is like, hey, dude, we're seeing a comedy show this weekend. You wanna come along? I got an extra ticket. And his friend went, his friend, the guy in the audience still, he's like a normal guy, right? He goes, seeing a comedy show is just a thing you do. It's like going bowling to him. His friend is a patrician. Obviously, he's a man of taste, a man of valor. And so when his friend is like, hey, we're seeing a comedy show, do you want to come? Our dude, our hero, he's like, a comedy show? Are you sure? Who is it? Now, that's not even a question on anybody in the crowd's mind. They don't give a shit who it is. It's just whoever it is. Make me laugh, clown. Which is probably the way to be. But this dude, he knows his stuff. Our hero. So he says, who is it? The guy says, some girl with tattoos from Instagram. Natalie, I think, something. I think she's the daughter of the mayor. And Hack Jesse. What did I say? It was Hack. Greg's calling me Hack in the chat, which is a thing that a bunch of people who consider themselves part of something called the Hackverse love saying. They never use it right, but they do love saying it. Some of the hackiest people on earth. Greg, very involved with them. Anyway, so this guy, he's like, who is it? He says Natalie Cuomo. And this guy's like, excuse me? Are you sure you want me to go? I will go see this Natalie Cuomo show. I've been in this man's position before. Listen, I'll go watch it, but I'm not going to enjoy it. Are you sure? Hey, man, the ticket's free. Come on. She's probably pretty fun. I've seen her Instagram reels. She's funny. And then he looks his friend, he puts his hand on his friend's shoulder and he goes, you naive little retard. You poor bastard. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to embarrass the shit out of you if we go there. This is going to be your worst fucking nightmare. I guarantee it. But I'll go. I'll go. Oh, she flicked him off. She's got so many good comebacks. By the way, she's the type of bitch where every photo of her ever taken, she's flipping off the camera. Like that could have been taken of her at a bowling alley, Fuck yeah, we're bowling. She probably has a tattoo on her arm of a guy flipping off the camera.
It's not. Comedy is not about that, but it's hard. There's so many shows that I've done where I have been heckled and I haven't handled it that way. And not that that's even...
Why wasn't this included in the short? This is my favorite part. No, actually, normally I'm good at this. I promise.
I have been heckled and I haven't handled it that way. And not that that's even the right way to handle it, but there are times where I've cried and gone to the green room and it's been bad. And it is important to stand up for yourself because you do work.
Are we at a motivational speaker now? This is how Kyle Cease becomes a guru, by the way. You get heckled one too many times and now you have to do an inspiring speech. Why wouldn't she think she's in the middle of an inspiring speech right now? Everybody's clapping for her. Natalie! They're doing a slow clap for her at this point. She forgot. This isn't even comedy anymore. She now needs to get the football team ready and get them in the fighting spirit to make sure their head's in the game. Everybody take a knee real quick.
And it's I feel it's not fun when a negative comment comes to life in the front row. It's something I deal with.
Wow. So I didn't even watch this all the way through before. So she even recognizes that this is the internet comments come to life. This is awesome.
The time online, it's like at a live show, it's not. I tell myself all the time, like, the live show is not negative comments. These are people that want to see me. So when it is,
sorry, wrong. We need to fill the crowds with the negative comment section. There needs to be more dislikes than likes on these live comedy shows from now on. Imagine that. She's having to sit there and look herself in the mirror, inspect her tattoos, and say to herself, I promise, Natalie, they're here to see you. They like you. That's mental already. The fact that she's like psyching herself up like that.
in life, I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. You know what I mean? So I thank you guys for being.
No, I don't know what you mean. How about you tell a joke? Move on. Imagine! Imagine if this was a male comedian. You can't do it. I dare you. If anybody can strap themselves into an MRI and prove to me that their dreams are real, get Elon Musk to Neuralink you into a computer where I can visually see you imagining a male comedian going through this kind of emotion and the crowd being on his side, I'll give you $2 billion. I'll give you $6 million, the biggest number I can think of. If any guy, especially a seasoned comedian, but any male comedian, could be a nobody, if this happened to them, they would be pissing themselves laughing at him for being such a twerp. There'd be a black guy in the audience going, "Get off the stage!" And he'd be saying the funniest stuff ever, and the whole crowd would be like, "You're the comedian now, black man." And the black man would be like, "Yes, I am." And he would get up there, and then he would do the most fire 45-minute set of all time about everybody's silly t-shirts in the audience. You go, girl.
Fuck yeah. I guess we'll chat.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was him first. I was like, oh my God.
And there are people in the crowd, right? You can hear the whispers, right? Are you hearing the whispers? It's almost like a fake crowd sound. It's like, whisper track number 3.mp3, where everybody is now regretting their decision to support this freak. They're realizing like, oh, we're never getting back to the funny stuff. Not that we were ever there to begin with.
You're like texting, you're like, I'm sorry that was her. I'm sorry to give her my phone, but is that you? I know you have to be his friend. Imagine he was your boss. I love you so much, and I'm so.
Part two!
LOL, tell her I said 2 therapists isn't enough.
He's smoking her from the parking lot. It's over, bitch. Get off the stage. The seats are now the stage. Lower the stage into a cement pit. Okay? She needs to be buried alive. This dude is heading back to his car and he's hitting her with bangers. She still hasn't told a joke yet. It hasn't happened. He killed her. The crowd's loving it. Tell this bitch 2 therapists isn't enough. By the way, is that the joke that... That's the joke I played in the random reel from earlier. I was right. She is doing the same crowd work bits in different sets. That was a different set entirely. She was wearing a different outfit. That was not the same one. Oh my God, hang on a second. Where was it? Let me see if I can find that again. Do I have that still? Fuck. Is this it? Yes. Yep. Watch this. This is incredible. What a find. Look at this.
New York City. You are? Oh my God. That's why.
It's a different show. She's in a completely different club, different outfit.
You had 5 therapists. Where in New York are you from? Okay, where'd you go to high school?
Doing crowd work, just talking to a guy. What's my sign, Jesse? What's your sign, Jesse? Guess. You tell me what my sign is based on my personality traits, my immutable traits that were, of course, born of what planets were above me when I crawled out of my mom's pussy.
Oh, wow. All right, a lot of drugs when you were younger? Oh, okay, you weren't cool. Okay, I'm really proud of you. That's a really big deal. That's awesome. Wow. I was cool. I'm not anymore, though. That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Did you have a therapist in high school? Yeah, I had 2. Okay. I'm just.
So the other dude is now referencing that bit from earlier in her set. She is doing repeat crowd work. I just said that, assuming I was right. And now the proof is in the fucking pudding. And again, he smoked her with it. Let's watch it again.
I love you so much, and I'm so.
Part 2!
LOL, tell her I said 2 therapists isn't enough.
Killed her! Killed her! It's over! 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. Bring him back! The crowd should be like, bring him back, bring him back, bring him back.
Oh my god, I just can't wait for what he writes on Reddit or whatever.
You fucking idiot. You stupid bitch. What he writes on Reddit, were you ready for all of Twitter? For literally the entirety. Reddit, I actually got this video off of Reddit. I'm sure there's some good comments on the Reddit here, but Twitter was smoking you. And they didn't even see this full version. Is the pussy hilarious also? Yeah. Well, Natalie must have one of the funniest pussies ever. If Louis J. Gomez is with her. You should hear the fart jokes her pussy tells. Jesse's sign is the autistic child area one. Yeah, I like that.
That was.
My sign is Cancer. That's funny.
Anyway, I honestly, that was therapeutic, actually. I think my dad would be proud. And I don't know.
I think this might be the reason your dad is dead.
He's fine. He's had enough. I think that picture was a personalized picture for him. So that's. I feel awkward going to material now. I just yelled at one of the things.
Hang on a second. I have to try this. I'm just going to type in Natalie Cuomo, Google Images. Let's see if we can find any selfies of her. There's a lot of professional pictures where she doesn't look filthy. So these obviously don't count. We need the filthy photos of her. I'm just trying to see if I can find photos of her giving the middle finger to the camera. These are all professional photos, though. Because, again, she's not banking on her comedy. She's banking on her looks. What if I type in selfie? Will that improve my results here? It's all pro pictures. Nope, nothing. Oh, well, I guarantee you she's got a million photos out there of her flipping off the camera. A personalized picture. Natalie Cuomo, the worst comedian to ever fucking do it. And by the way, check this out. I said a long time ago on the show, I had a bit on the show. You know, these female comedians, they get away with it. They just get away with it. Ooh, God, my hair. I'm starting to look like Natalie Cuomo here. What is this? What is this? What am I, a 90s pop singer? I'm Mandy Moore, everybody. Or my Danzig. I don't know what's going on. I just have a devil lock now. This is fine. I was making fun of, these female comedians years and years ago. They've had it too easy. It got too much. And of course, Amy Schumer blew up. And I'm not just talking about her weight. Amy Schumer blew up and got, all these big specials. Everybody was, on one side of the fence or the other. Is Amy Schumer funny or not? And I said, we should send Amy Schumer to comedy class. This is from, I think, 2018, 2019. I started a GoFundMe to send Amy Schumer to comedy class. Comedy class for Amy Schumer, $3,000 goal. Yeah, 2019, March 2019. I said a lot of people seem to think Amy Schumer is not that funny. I personally believe in her and all female comedians and want her to succeed. So this money will go toward getting her comedy classes. I remember Kyle Cease used to run some comedy classes for $3,000. Amy seems to be a big fan of his since she borrowed one of his jokes before. So hopefully he can teach her to be all she can be. He's a great motivational speaker. If she cannot or will not accept the donations for comedy classes, then I will redirect the funds to a charity that will teach underprivileged African girls how to write sketch comedy. Now, I'm thinking we need to bring back the comedy classes bit, but for Natalie Cuomo, unfortunately, I was permanently banned from GoFundMe for that GoFundMe. So we're going to have to find a new way to do it. I think Natalie Cuomo could recover. Again, her career is, if she doesn't, her career is fucking over at this point. If she doesn't become the funniest comedian ever after this. Somebody, we're going to need to send her to comedy boot camp. I know a guy named Dante, goon of the show Dante. He actually runs some comedy classes. We can maybe get that going. Are there any platforms where you can put up a nice, good platform like that to get some money together that they won't just immediately ban you forever from this? Literally, I'm not allowed to even give money on GoFundMe because of that campaign. So if there's a way to do it, let me know. Anyway, just something to keep in mind. Just remember, 2019, comedy classes, female comedians, Amy Schumer. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is, Natalie Cuomo stinks. Speaking of comedians who stink, Mersh. Mersh has been having some real troubles. Okay? Mersh has not been enjoying himself lately when it comes to cars because he don't have one. Everybody's getting this wrong. They've got all the facts wrong on this. They think his Beamer was repoed. It wasn't. He had a Cadillac. The Beamer's long gone. He's already been making lies and lies about it. We've been covering this now for episodes and episodes. Found out, and I'll just give this out for free. We found out on the most recent episode, our World War, that in fact, we actually managed to get Mersh to talk about this on Nightwave. We sent in some super chats and fooled him into talking about his car being repossessed, which is why now he's being so open about this. We found out that it was, in fact, it wasn't just the cement keeping him up at night when he's running off with his gay hands on Revenge of the Sis the other day. His car was repoed live on ROTC. I kept saying to everybody, there's no fucking way. There is no way that this man, somehow we were lucky enough that he gets home from Vegas. He's down, $3,000. He's got no money to his name. And not only do they repo his car the day he's home from Vegas, just hours later, but it happens on camera and he comes back having a gay meltdown. And I realized my mistake. Thank you to the cult. Thank you to everybody out there. I was wrong. This is a very rare occurrence. So I'll just say it now. I was wrong. Jesse's normally right, but I was wrong this one time. And the reason I was wrong is I did not trust our God. Where is he? Dear God. Look at this guy. So thank you to Dear God. We believe in chaos magic. We believe in the power of the dark forces of PodAWFUL. And I should have never, ever, ever doubted you. Dear God, thank you so much, of course. And to all the henchmen, thank you. Now, of course, the cement was also an issue. We got him talking about that as well. If you don't know, we sent him 2 tons of cement. Go check out that episode. It's in the Pizza Fund, PodAWFUL.pizza. We sent him 2 tons of cement. It was sitting there as his car was being repoed. So that was fun. A repo guy had to drive around 2 pallets of cement. Anyway, Mersh is now trying to get his car back, and it's not going his way. Let's check it out.
I want to give him fucking, over $2,000. And I need to get this done tonight or they're going to fucking auction off my car. I take an Uber to Walmart, which is an incredibly white trash thing to have to say.
So Mersh is now having to go to Walmart to get his car back, which I didn't even know was a thing.
They are making it. They're making it impossible. They're making it impossible for me to get my car back.
It's their fault that you don't have a car anymore. Mersh, pay your bills. This man ran toll booths and is like, everybody at Walmart's too stupid for me.
Ridiculous bullshit I'm going through. So today I got up.
This poor guy.
Made sure my bank knew I'm going to have a big,
An Uber to Walmart. Ha, 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 they say in chat. It is, and here's the thing. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to put this out there. It wasn't even an Uber. It was a Lyft. Okay, it was cheaper and worse.
Amount coming through.
And it was whatever their Uber pool version is for Lyft. He had to share the ride with others on the way there. I guarantee it.
Well, my debit card, I don't want you guys to flag it. I'm letting you know now.
I love how Royce isn't even a good enough friend to drive him to Walmart.
Okay. I call the car company, finance company. I go, all right, let's do this. I'm ready to go. They go, all right, give me a card number. I give them the card number.
Bada bing, bada boom,
it's not
bang.
letting us use
bing,
your
bong,
card.
Bing bong, boom, bong, bing bong, bing. Bang, ding, ding, dong, bong.
Why not? Is it a debit card? Yes, it's a debit card. I don't know. That's strange.
Well, he certainly
For
can't
some
use his
reason, it's
credit
just
card.
not letting us add
There's no way his credit card worked.
your card as a payment thing. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me, right? So the repo department closes at like 4 p.m. every day, right? So I'm like, this is fucking fantastic. So I'm like, I need to get
the poor tax is so funny. Like the fact that being poor costs you more money and just every little fuck up you do hurts you more and more. The fact that the repo office closes at 4, it's like, nah, not even 5. They didn't even give you the courtesy to close at the same time as when you get off of work. No, an hour before, just to fucking drive that fucking knife in a little bit deeper, just twist it.
this done tonight.
Of course, Mersh doesn't have a job, so that doesn't really matter.
No later than tomorrow morning, or they're going to fucking auction off my car. I need to get this fucking rectified. How do I go fix this? If you're not going to accept my card, what do I do?
By the way, rectifying is actually something that a rented baby did to Mersh when he was a child.
They go, well, you can go into Walmart and pay, use their bill pay system, and you could just do it that way, and then it'll post instantly. And I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah, who shares this? Someone says in chat. Why would you tell anyone? Imagine, by the way, what if you're the only new Nightwave viewer, all right? You just found ROTC for the first time, and you're like, I'm retarded and stuck in 2016. These guys are funny. I'll check out this guy's other show. You tune into Nightwave, and the first thing he does is go, well, guys, I couldn't get my car back from Walmart. I'm poor. I mean, you can't keep watching a guy like that. How is this a show? He just assumes everybody knows. Yeah, hey, by the way, listen, for us, it wouldn't be shocking to tune into Nightwave and he's like, yeah, it turns out they got to take all my teeth. Yeah, no, I don't mean like there's diseased or anything. They're repoing my teeth. We would be like, yeah, that seems to make sense. But if you're a new guy, again, it's like watching PODAWFUL for the first time. I can't explain this to you. You're just going to have to go back through the archives and figure it out. There is no archive to figure out Mersh on his own platform. There's no amount of digging through. You have to go to Porcelain's channel to figure out what's going on with Mersh.
So we finish ROTC. I take an Uber to Walmart.
Oh. So he's at... Oh, no, they finished ROTC. He was at home. He doesn't have a car. He hasn't been going to ROTC. I wonder, though, did Royce pay for the Uber, for the Lyft? Did Royce buy him the Lyft there? I bet he did.
Which is an incredibly white trash thing to have to say right now. So I go to fucking Walmart. By the way, I'm on the phone with the lady. She goes, you're going to need this information to pay at Walmart. I said, cool, tell me. She goes, here's your account number. Okay.
Yeah, got a call from the IRS. Apparently, I'm not allowed to have feet anymore. So, guys, if you could kick in a couple of tree bucks, I can try and get my feet back. I got to go head down to the Quickie Mart, get my feet back. They're going to help me out there, apparently.
Okay, I get my account number.
Yeah, I got to rent a U-Haul to get my feet, so.
Read it back verbatim. That's the account number. Great. She goes, you're going to need our, what's it called? It's called a biller code. And what that is, it's just an ID, like for the actual person who's receiving the money, right?
Right.
I double check that one. I read that back to them verbatim. Ensure everything's correct. Both numbers, I read back to them. They go, correct. I said, so I go down to Walmart. I tell them these code. I tell them this account number. I pay them. Boom. We're fixed, right? She's like, yep, done deal. Great. I go to Walmart. I'm like, okay, I got my money. I'm like, I don't want to pay this amount of money and have it go to the wrong place. So I give them my information, whatever. They enter my info, and then I go.
If my car was repossessed and I sent my wife to Walmart to get it back, I wouldn't listen to this story from her. Okay? There's no world where I'm sitting through this whole thing. The only way I hear a story like this is Mersh telling it.
Go, here is the biller's code.
Tell me, did we get the car back or not? No? Okay, go back.
So the lady pulls it up at Walmart. I said, before I send all this money out, can you verify who I'm sending this money to? She goes, she goes, because I said, this is the name of my finance company. She goes, that's not what it says here. And I'm like, can you tell me what the biller code is for? She goes, it says for the city of Pasco. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, city of Pasco. So I call the finance company. Obviously, the repo people aren't there, but the generic company was still there, the customer service. And I said, what is your fucking code for this stupid check system, whatever, this pay bill system at Walmart? She gives me a totally different code. So I'm like, should I just send all the, I'm like, I should just pay this bill and send it to this code, but I'm not sure it's the right code, so I panicked.
So he had gay hands in front of the lady at Walmart. Only Mersh, ladies and gentlemen. Only Mersh could experience something so gay.
So I just had to come home today. And I have to go.
He just gave up. He's like, okay, I guess I don't got a car no more then. Well, I can't figure out the codes. Just ask them. Ask them, can you figure out what the code is?
Now tomorrow early and try to get this done.
You can't go back. No, he's got beer to drink. Of course he can't go back. Same day, he's got beer to drink. Thank God he's got the beer to drink.
They gave me the wrong fucking code to send my money in. And
everybody's dumb but me, the guy who's broke.
I have the code for their company, but I don't want to use it and have them be like, well, the repo department's a different code. So I was like,
Mersh is sitting there in a fucking gay panic. You know, he's pacing. He's in front of some Hispanic Consuela sitting there behind this desk where only the earth's most rotten individuals are ever coming up to her. How can I help you? And he's just in full-on eyes squirming panic. The code! The code! The code!
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I'm waiting till tomorrow. I'll get back on the phone with my finance company, and I'm going to have to sort this shit out.
Yeah, he gave up.
No, Turdies, it's not a fucking...
He had a Cuomo-level meltdown. And again, when Mersh has a Cuomo-level meltdown, which is now the scale, by the way, when you're doing a Cuomo in front of somebody and you take those glasses down and go, look me in the eyes. You got to at least give them a minute. You know, you can't freak out. They're going to have to decide which is the one that's actually looking at me. She's going to have to walk around the corner to look you in the other eye.
An Indian toe scam because I called my finance company today and they put me through to their repo department.
I pray to God that Mersh's car wasn't even legally repossessed. It's some sort of Indian toe scam. Dear God, I doubted you before. Now I need you, okay? In my time of need, send me my H-1B henchman. Make sure they have his car. Yes, sir. The number for getting the car back is 222222222.
So it's not like they called me. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So now I got to get up early tomorrow and go in again and try to get this sorted out. And hope they have the right fucking code.
Wow, I waited till the last minute. I don't have any money.
I'm so annoyed. Yes, Jameson, the kitties are eating. Actually, I was running out of cat food, and since
I was actually considering eating my cats. Hit like if you want Mersh to eat his cat, by the way.
I happened to be at Walmart, and I wanted to fucking stab the people at my finance company for wasting my goddamn time and making me take an Uber to and from Walmart. I at least was like...
I legitimately thought for a second he was going to say to and fro. His stories, they're all so fanciful. It's all, oh, this and that, this and that. It's like... only this man could have so many adventures, so many amazing and odd adventures, by the way, at his own hand.
I'm here. I might as well make the trip worth it. So I did get kitty litter, cat food, cat treats, some Coke Zeros, 12-pack of beer.
Oh, thank God. Okay, well then, we're good. The cats are fine then. Hey, what do I got to worry about drinking? I ain't driving. Am I right? I'm sort of the designated driver.
And now I just have to hope we get this done. Like, tomorrow's my cutoff day. I have to pay them tomorrow, and this thing is fucked.
Gulp. Oh, my God. Beer and whiskey. Just consume. No wonder your mouth sounds like it's snatching so many things constantly. He's got the wettest, driest mouth that's ever. It's like Super Mario's in there switching the blocks around.
I always say this, right? I fuck up my own life enough. I don't need people's help.
Watch it. He's chasing it. The cheap store brand beer.
Triple N. What time do I have to get in there for? Well, it takes like 2 to 3 hours to process the revocation of the repo so I can go get my car. So I have to get there tomorrow by like noon. The latest.
Okay, Mersh is never going to have a car again. Congrats, everybody.
PODAWFUL one.
You know he can't possibly make it by noon.
I'm going to have to get to Walmart. So I have to get up in the morning, get to Walmart by noon, and get this fucking...
Nah, ain't happening. Sorry. You could have a fucking treasure map. There could be gold at the end of this journey, and you're never making it there.
Tolkien, yeah, I know. I'm trying to handle...
Wait, what the fuck?
These fucking faggots.
Whoa! What? What is happening? He's not even saying that. What the?
They fucked up today.
What the hell is happening with the audio here?
Hesitant to send. Starting over again.
Okay, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what was going on there. Thank you to Circle 8814. Oh, that name. On Reddit for that, getting that clip for us. Thank you for that. Now, here is what was actually going on. Here's what happened. This is crazy, but we obtained the actual video of what was happening outside of Mersh's place when he got up all gaily on Nightwave, or not Nightwave, on Revenge of the Sis. Check this out. This is what, so Mersh is getting up from his chair, and this is what happened.
Chris Jericho. Oh, Mersh has to go because Chris Jericho. He told me not to talk.
Whoa! Oh my gosh! They're repoing him into the sky. Whoa! Whee! Oh, no wonder he was so freaked out when he got back.
This is intense.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Ah!
There was a cover blam. You good?
No, I'm not. We'll talk off the air.
Okay. There was a
Wow. That was crazy. Wow. Repoman. Okay, so thank you to Smokane for that. Been waiting for somebody to do that. All right, we actually have an update though. There's already more to this. What's going on with Mersh's ride now? Did he make his second Walmart trip? This is from Alan Powell. Thank you for the clip.
A lot of folks have been asking me, what's up with my car? I got some good news. I got some bad news. Bad news.
Let's start with the bad news, okay?
I got some good news. I got some bad news. And the bad news is I do not currently have my car.
Yay!
I got excited, very excited to see all of this.
Meaning I do not have physical custody of my car yet. Because
Mersh is going to divorce court over his car. I don't know. Royce might get it after all the proceedings in the end here. I'm not allowed. I might get visitation with it, okay? I'm going to be sort of a weekend driver, if you know what I mean.
Of all the fuck-ups this week that ensued that were
this week.
Not my
How
fault.
about not your fault? Not your fault. How about the fuck-ups from 4 months ago when you stopped paying for your car? And again, I said this on the show the other night. I believe you have to pay the entirety of what you owe still on your loan in order to get the car back, which means Mersh probably owes somewhere in the neighborhood of $87,000 on this thing. Mersh is going to be taking out loans in order to pay off loans. This is going to financially ruin him if he actually gets this vehicle back. And somebody made a good point. I think it was Ahoy Goy. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go. He says, I'm sure this has already been discussed. Jesse probably said it on the show. I didn't. He says, Mersh bought his car at the same time they signed the Rumble contract. That's very interesting. And then he stopped making the payments once the contract ended with Rumble. That can't be a coincidence. It's not. It's not. There's no such thing as coincidences in the world of PODAWFUL. When you're in the cult, you start to see the numbers. 889 angles. I know the pieces fit. We understand every little bit. We see the strings that control the systems here. Okay, these dates, all those Rumble dates and the car payment stop, all of these dates are about to become very, very important on a future episode of PODAWFUL.
From these idiots making mistakes. Good news is I was able to pay.
Everyone's an idiot but me.
What I owe. Down to the fucking penny.
Okay, so Royce's dad stepped in or something. Some sort of miracle happened, or he doesn't know what's going on. Something crazy is happening here. 889 payments left. That's right.
So the bad news is I probably will not be getting my car back until Monday. The good news is they got their money. They got their money.
Well, no, hang on a second. So they've got his money and he has no car. Nothing bad could happen. There's no possible way that this ends poorly for Mersh.
So they can buck off now. So that's a nice chunk of change down the fucking,
Down the what? Down the pipeline to which you already owed that change? The fact that you still get to have the car after all the hassle you put them through is a kindness you don't deserve.
Down the turlet, as they say in New York, but so it goes. So at least it's something I won't lose sleep over this weekend. We got it done in time for the deadline. So
yeah, you got scammed, Mersh. You paid and still no car. Exactly. This is an Indian scam.
By the way, I went today. I called them and I'm like, yo, I need to verify this information. I said, because you guys gave me bad info, right? So I called the repo, the finance company again today, and I'm like, you need to figure this out, right? So I'm like, we're going to Walmart. I'm using the check-free.
Whoa, what the? I guess Mersh got himself an office job. Look at him. He's visiting retard daycare right now. What the hell is going on? So I called him up and I said, let me tell you how it is. Hang on a second. Let me just take 2 different alcohol drinks right now and... All right, let me get my retard arm into place here. Now listen up, bitch, because I got stuff to explain to you. You don't know your own codes and how they work. They don't care. They want to take your car from you. You didn't pay. You don't deserve it.
Service, right? They go, yes.
What is he doing with his arm there? That is so wild looking.
Right. So I'm like, we're going to Walmart. I'm using the check-free service, right? They go, yes.
Look at this. What is It's like he's got idle hands, you know, like the movie, and it's trying to belie that he's an idiot while he's trying to seem like a know-it-all. Yeah, so I got done writing the math equation on the chalkboard there, and anyway, I was trying to tell her, like I was like I said, I was eating sugar cookies from McDonald's.
Yes. I go, let me verify. Your biller code supposedly is, I give them the code, right? She goes, yep, that's the code. I said, that's definitely not the code. I said, I spent like a half hour at Walmart last night going back and forth with these people.
Why are you so low? Sit up. What is all that headroom above you there?
I'm like,
he's so tiny on his own screen.
That code you keep giving me is the code for the Pasco County water utility system.
Okay, remember that?
Not you guys, you know? So I'm like...
Maybe they're trying to tell you something. You probably owe on your water bill, too.
She goes, well, you know, you can just type in the name of the company manually, and they should be able to pull it up. I'm like, I'm sure this Walmart employee is going to love that. So I go to Walmart, and the lady is like this old Hispanic lady who's...
Called it.
Like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, can you type in this finance company name and see if it's in there? I ended up having to get the lady on the fucking phone from the finance company and hand the phone to the lady at Walmart because they were just, nobody was paying attention to me. But we got...
Can you imagine what they had to do to steal your car back from you after you hid it at the airport all weekend? It must have been pretty tough for them, too, if you think about it.
Got it done. We got it taken care of. So last night, I promised we were going to have a wonderful follow-up. So in case you didn't watch last...
Okay, this is something else. Anyway, so now he's claiming that Monday he will have the car back. Now, we'll see what happens, okay? Mersh Week, of course, never ends here at PodAWFUL. We'll see what happens with that. I'm so excited to find out if Mersh actually manages to get a car after supposedly paying for it. It sounds like a wild claim. It sounds like he went through all this trouble and there's no possible way. I'm telling you, this is not the craziest thing Mersh has claimed in the past few days. In fact, this is the craziest thing that Mersh has claimed.
How do you not know this?
So he's talking about Aaron Imholt here.
Aaron, you're the kind of guy that brags about
your
subreddits and your haters on a Tinder date. I went on a Tinder date once.
All right. Prepare to enter the lie zone. The second I hear Mersh and Tinder date, I know we're going to hear the world's worst lie.
And I was doing I do internet marketing, and the chick was buying it. She was cute, by the way, and it was going pretty well.
Okay, second clue that this is a lie.
And we were just doing it.
Because remember, Tinder requires the girl to also swipe right, so couldn't possibly have been a cute girl.
Thing, blah, 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 whatever. And then,
bing, 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 bong, boom.
Drinks were flowing. Marketing. Well, we were having fun.
Wait, what? Oh, it's fucking up the audio again. What the hell is that? Hang on a second. Sorry about that. It's this Reddit video audio.
And the chick was buying it. She was cute, by the way. And it was going pretty well. And we were just doing our thing, blah, 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 whatever. And then, drinks were flowing, marketing. Well, we were having fun. We were having our fun. And for the first time in a long time, I actually did let a little moment of weakness slip out. I was like, yeah, you know what? And we were at this point already in a car, like we were fooling around, we were doing stuff.
Okay, so fake. First date, Tinder date, cute girl, fooling around. Imagine that. By the way, imagine Mersh having a car to fool around in. What, does she come pick him up? They're in the middle. He's in the middle of doing the claw finger inside her pussy, and all of a sudden they can feel the car getting jacked up in the back and pulled away. Mersh on the verge of coming. So this is all clearly a lie. This is incredible. The lie he tells here, I hope it's true. Obviously, all the details about her being pretty and stuff are fake. I hope there is even a nugget of truth to this, because what he's about to say is so goofy.
Did a bunch of shit. And then, we did our thing. Whatever. We went on a second date.
We did our thing. What was that?
Just in the car. It was a quick car blowy.
Okay. So, and by the way, a blowy, really. A blowy. Does Anthony Cumia say that? A blowy. Don't say Anthony Cumia stuff while you got Aaron on screen. This looks bad for you, Mersh. A quick car blowy. Well, it's got to be quick. You're only going to have the car, but for so long.
Second date. We're hanging out talking. And I guess after she...
And again, another way you know it's a fake story, there's a second date. As if this woman wouldn't, instantly jump off a cliff after this. You heard show me kitties after her 2 seconds of getting her nipples sucked on. She wanted to commit suicide.
To carry me in the car the first date. We were chatting a little bit, waiting for her Uber because she was too drunk to drive. And I was like, I'm not too drunk to drive. I'm driving home drunk.
Wait, waiting for her Uber. So you were fooling around in a car, but you were waiting for her Uber. The story is already falling apart.
I'm going to cope and seethe. Jesse made a good point tonight. And I hate to say, it pains me to admit it. But when you're right, you're right. But she didn't want me to drive her. It was a whole weird thing. So she's like, I'll get an Uber or whatever. She got an Uber or whatever.
Wait, did he start to say she didn't want me to drive her drunk and then realize he shouldn't say that and said it's a whole weird thing instead? That is weird that she didn't want you to drive her drunk.
Waiting for Uber.
So this is weird. I don't know. She was like blowing me in the car and then didn't want me to, crash. Didn't want me to kill her the same way I killed the Beamer.
I might have post-nut not clarity let it slip. Like, all right, this is what I do, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, God. This story better not make me vomit the same way he did with that mattress stain. Remember the mattress stain? Oh.
Second date, we hang out, and she's like talking about like the subreddit and this and that and whatever.
What? He says it so casually, you almost miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, supposedly, Mersh is going on dates with girls who are reading PODAWFUL's Mersh subreddit.
Watch PODAWFUL. Watch your show.
That's so crazy. There's no way. It can't be true, but I want to believe it.
And not in a bad way. She wasn't saying like, oh, I saw this stuff about
Not
you.
in a bad way. If somebody sees that subreddit, it's over for your entire life.
She goes, yo, I found this like corner of the internet that talks about you that's insane.
Okay, no woman calls it a corner of the internet.
And I'm like, yeah, the Reddit? She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you mean my Reddit? You mean PODAWFUL's my Reddit about me and how I'm gay and lame? Yeah, what about it? What's strange about that? Now, here's the thing. I have been on years and years and years ago. I went on a Tinder date with a girl. I used to do the same thing. I used to lie about what I do for a living, never tell them about the podcast. I had nothing linking back to me. I match with this girl. I do what I always do, which is I screenshot her photos from Tinder, then reverse Google image search them, find all of the info about her, use that to socially engineer her into going on a date with me, gaslight her, fool her. Technically speaking, everything she believes about me is such a lie at this point, and everything I secretly know about her is such a lie that anything that would come of that sexually would be classified in many courts as an R word. Retard. So I look up all her info. I find a lot of strange stuff, by the way. This girl in particular, she was a photographer. She had photos of herself naked with her mom, also nude. So before I ever met her, I saw her and her mom naked. So I went, all right, nice. I have, this is the one up I have on her. It's like when a comedian is imagining the crowd naked in front of him. It's, it's like ass pennies. I know everybody out there's handled my ass pennies. Most people are going to go, what? Don't worry about it.
I know.
Listen, if you know, you know. Many of you have handled my ass pennies. Trust me on that. And by the way, my foreskin quarters. Ooh.
Maybe you, not me.
I mean, dude. Maybe. I don't know. Could I? Nah, not me. He's a nerd. He's a nerd. Could be 200 ass pennies. Could be 2. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice. Anyway, so Charles Carroll. Got to let him in on what we're doing here. Charles Carroll. What was I talking about? It's having ass pennies. It's having ass pennies over. I've seen her mom nude. So it's like, what could she possibly have, on me that would make me look bad in this situation if I go on this date?
You've seen your dad nude.
Well, I did have at the time, I had a lot of intimates of my father, boudoir photos of my father on Instagram. So that might have been possible. No, I legitimately saw this girl completely nude next to her mom. Completely. It was bizarre. But I went, well, that sounds easy. Now I had a string of bad ones, of bad Tinder dates at this point. So I was being overly cautious here. I did not want to waste my time. And so I go there, and by the way, every time, I got to lie to the women and go, yeah, I drink. Let's go to a bar, I guess. And then I order something that looks like a drink and it isn't. And I don't tell her. And now I'm fully sober and I'm doing things. So we're sitting back there. We're talking forever. They've got one of these, backyard sort of setups where everybody's sitting outside in the back. We're out there in the back. We're talking forever. I'm secretly manipulating her with all of the facts that I know about her. And then out of nowhere, 45 minutes in, like we'd been talking for a while, she drops the bomb on me. So you do a podcast. And I went, what? She got me. Your mom's too. I've seen your fucking mom naked. I jacked off right before I came. Which is normally how you come. She drops a bomb on me. And then she says, are you a Republican? I'm like, what? That's what you got from my... And by the way, this is over 10 years ago, maybe at this point. So, even less political than now. And now the politics of this podcast are zero. It was in the negatives back then. Nobody was even talking about politics, but that's what she gathered from the little bit she watched of my podcast, is that I'm a Republican. And so I said, would that be a problem if I was? Knowing that if she's even asking that, then she's probably a fucking freak and is about to ruin my life. And she said no. And then I realized, like, oh, wait, all the stuff I saw of her, other than her being nude with her mommy, I think she's testing the waters here because she is. And I'm like, well, I'm nothing. So no, I'm not a Republican, but I do a show. She's like, you were saying some really bad stuff on your show. And I was like, is that a problem? And she was like, no. And I was like, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I realized I said to her, like, I don't have anything on my profile about me doing a podcast. So I know you reverse image searched me. And she said, yes. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, you know, I did the same to you, right? And she was like, I assume everyone does it. If I'm doing it, she said, I'm technologically retarded. So if I'm doing it, everybody's got to be doing it. And I said, well, you do understand then that I saw your mom naked. And she was not prepared for that one.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, is that a problem? and she was like taken aback. And I was like, you're a photographer. I've seen your whole... And I just started telling her every single thing I saw, like an autistic freak. Right? And finally, I realized, like, this is going nowhere. There's no way. I mean, she matched me. She matched me, so she, you know, you don't look someone up until you match them. That would take too much time. So she matched me. I think she actually wanted to go on a date or something, then found the podcast and got freaked out by it, which is why I know everything Mersh is saying is a lie, because you can't, the only way you get with a girl who knows about the podcast is that was the first thing she knew about you. If it's the last thing she finds out about you, you're an experiment in her life. I cannot tell you how many women have tried to figure me out because they found out last second I've got a weird comedy show online. She's probing. And I realize I'm in the moment thinking back through our whole 45-minute conversation and going, she was shit testing me this whole time and wants to, like, there's another thing too where I lived in New York City during this moment. So the idea that someone is maybe wanting to do a project with you is kind of high. I can't tell you how many girls I matched with where their interest was not in a relationship or sexual. It was in, like, let's collaborate. It's crazy. It's so sickening and crazy, but they do this all the time. And I start to realize this girl, I don't know, she did stuff other than photography as well. This is a social experiment for her, and she's wanting to make some sort of project. I was like, let's just rip the fucking Band-Aid off now, man. And she's trying to pretend like it's still a date. So I said, you know this isn't alcohol, right? I'm just drinking water in front of you. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I don't drink. I didn't say I do, by the way. You just asked me to meet you at this dumb bar. I was like, I don't drink. And she was like, okay. And now she's getting even more uncomfortable. And then I said, so let me guess. You saw me say the N-word on the podcast? And she was like, no, do you do that? And I said, yes. Yes, quite often, as a matter of fact. And she was like, I don't have a problem with that. And now I'm taken aback. I'm like, what? I was like, you don't have a problem with that. Because this was like, again, maybe 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. So things are starting to pop off in that department. And, you know, all of a sudden, certain lives are mattering. Happy Black History Month, by the way. And so I'm like, wait a second. What? I was like, so you don't have a problem with that? She's like, no, I don't. I think you should be allowed to say whatever you want to say. She was like, I don't say it, but I don't have a problem with it. And I was like, no. No. This is a setup. I said this to her. This is a setup. I know what's going on here. I know what you're trying to do here. You want me to do it. You're trying to get on the podcast. Remember, does anybody remember that girl that came on the podcast that I matched on Tinder? Saint Cat, I think her name was, something weird like that.
Maybe I think
it's an old episode now. Jewish? Probably. I don't know. No, I don't think so. She was supposed, you know what? She was a Natalie Cuomo style comedian. She was a comedian who got by totally on her looks and was very overtly upfront sexual with me. immediately on this app on Tinder. Then finally I say, you know what? This girl does comedy or what. I'm just going to tell her I got a podcast. And it wasn't that bad back then. So I was like, I'm just going to tell her I got the podcast, whatever. And then it just became about the podcast. She wanted to come on as a guest. And then she came on as a guest and regretted it horrifically. And things ended instantly in that moment. But too late. I already had all of the photos. Everything. I had everything. There was nothing you could do. So don't mess up. Don't mess up. And of course, that was the implication with this other girl where I saw, you know, I have nude photos of her with her mom naked, being naked with each other like freaks. So eventually, I don't know, we were there maybe an hour and a half, and eventually we had just finished interrogating each other. And then we walk out to the front of the bar. And she like just shakes my hand very awkwardly. And I'm like, I don't want to, this is it. And she's like, yes. That was it. So I know what it is to be in this situation that Mersh is describing. And by the way, I'm not Mersh. And I certainly was nothing like him then. You know, he's 400 pounds. He smells. He's constantly drinking. He's broke. I'm supposed to believe he's getting blowies in the back of an Uber or something from a first-time Tinder date. Who knows about nightwave radio? The only way that's possible is that she knew that PODAWFUL owns the trademark to nightwave radio.
I've seen it. Look, what about it? And
yes, this was the David Gay Fartinez era. Ask the greater good in the chat room. Well, yeah, I'm sure that episode's probably on the site somewhere. I don't remember the name of it.
Straight up, immediately like rebuked it and was like, "Yeah, that shit is fucking crazy," and blah 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 blah. Da, 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 da.
She rebuked the Reddit,
and I'm like, "Yeah, they're talking." She's like, "You should do this and that." Blah blah blah. She started getting like too.
Oh, this sounds like a real story. What with the blah, blah, blah and the bing bong bings?
I killed the second date. We didn't hang out after the second date.
Oh, he killed it. It was him who did it. Now, in my story, I killed it, but I killed it by being a fucking weirdo. Okay, it's not me saying I took control of things. It's me going, nah, fuck it. I'm bizarre and I'm just going to let it all fly. Mersh is now like, oh, she knows about the Reddit. I'm out. As if.
Because I saw that weird, I let it slip who I was. She looked it up and she wasn't repulsed by the shit she saw.
That's impossible. Of course she would be repulsed. She must have been repulsed just by you in general. He's sitting there going, oh, you saw my Reddit.
Obvious, like, bullshit, retarded.
So I'm supposed to believe she's going down on him, giving him road dome in, again, some sort of mystery vehicle. And she can hear Krang next to her in her ear. And she's just fine with that. Everything's cool. That's got to be terrifying. You're sucking off some guy, and all of a sudden you hear the plans for the Technodrome in your ear. A guy getting pissed at Shredder. She must have been like, is he Bebop or Rocksteady?
Upset, but like, she immediately got like, ooh, like, this guy stirs up this level of emotion in that many people. Ooh, I like that. Like,
what? Are you fucking kidding me? That is not the way any woman's mind operates. Not even the absolute dregs of filth society that would go on a date with Mersh.
Oh, I want to get behind that. Like, it was one of the, like, you could see her getting excited by it. And I went, nope. Sorry. I can't.
Oh, a girl who's into me and the things I'm up to? Nah. One who sucks me off on the first date? I don't think so, sister.
Do this. And she tried to hit me up quite a few times after that date. And I'm like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. You
ran away because she now knew all of your most horrifying secrets. You're broke, you're fat, you're the worst. I guess she knew you were fat. She probably knew you were broke. She certainly knew you smelled. I guess there wasn't really much the Reddit could reveal about him. Maybe he had the sunglasses on the whole time. She hadn't seen the eyes yet.
You know, I told you not to eat from the fucking tree of forbidden knowledge. You ate from the tree. You ate the apple. Sorry, Eve. You gotta go.
Sorry, Mersh, but you're no Adam. Although I would believe you'd try to remove a rib to suck your own triangle.
It was like, it was one of those where I'm like, oh, you're way too, like, she got way too into it right away. And I went, nope, we're not doing that game because I don't want somebody like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want somebody who knows about the Reddit that tracks my life either and all of my foibles.
Genuinely I want a woman in
I want a woman who knows about my Kiwi Farms page.
My life that is so dismissive about what I do that it doesn't affect her in any way. Like,
oh, perfect. Well, your imaginary girlfriend should do that just fine.
That's what it would have been. Like,
oh, what you want is another cat. I get it.
That's what I want. Like, I want.
Right.
I want a woman that's like, when I go,
I want a girl with the smooth liquidation.
Yo, you know what we did tonight, girlie? Let's go. We did fucking, I had 800 people watching live. I had like 200 likes. Bro, we made fucking 200.
She's repoing her MG for a white Chrysler LeBaron.
In super chats, and she's like, yeah, that's great. I don't care. I work in
changing her name from Kitty to Karen. I don't think so.
An emergency room. And I literally had to pull a fucking, I had to pull multiple rounds out of some nigger who's never going to pay.
Okay. Yikes. Holy. This is why I didn't get a second date from that Tinder.
The bill tonight. That's what I did.
And we, of course, admonish that kind of talk here.
I want a bitch that wants nothing to do with my shit. Virgie, if a woman finds out you do.
Okay, well, luckily for you, Mersh, that's a big pool. You got a lot of fish in that sea.
Do a podcast and doesn't think you're a loser, that's fucking red flag, LMAO. Virgie, to be fair, I do a podcast that makes money.
This must have been pre-Repo news. What? You do a podcast that makes money? Then what happened? Then what happened with the car payments? You had to wait until the Bank of Royce opened up to even be able to fix the problem.
It's not fair. You can't use that analogy for me because a girl can know I do a podcast, but at least go, oh, well, he's not a total loser. It does make money. It does make enough to get his car out of repo.
Oh my God. This is actually what. So he's claiming both simultaneously? Holy shit.
When the fucking company actually, like, I don't know, holds up their end of the bargain.
So it's now the company's fault you don't have a car? What was, I think their end of the bargain was you get a car if you pay them. What more did they need to hold up? Okay, Jesus Christ, Mersh. Living in the land of delusion permanently. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mersh. Let's go to this. Our good friend, Dick Masterson. He's got a guy. We've got a Riley. All right. Everybody's got a Riley. It's just a stupid henchman you send to do the stuff that you would never do yourself. And Dick's Riley, he's got this Twitter account called @CG Scumlord. These guys are constantly rebranding themselves because nothing is ever working for them. They're always a new guy. The one thing that stays the same, though, is they're always only ever making fun of either Maddox or Eric July. Well, it's Black History Month, so this time it's Eric July. Let's see what happened. Now, you'll recall the last time Dick's Riley was arrested for threatening Eric July, saying he was going to come there and hurt him. He had big scissors. He was going to stab him to death. He showed up on Eric July's property. He was taken away in handcuffs, and of course, he deserved it. He says here, you false flagged me to the cops, Eric July, which I just to note, that's not a thing. You cannot false flag someone to the cops. It's not like a report system where it's not that your video got taken down. You and your E-famous friends lied about it for over a year. Well, what's that like? Dick Masterson doesn't know anything about that. You cost me $10K and 2 days of my life that I will not get back. That's not a waste, by the way. What would you have done with those 2 days? Play Pokemon? Do you know what I will get, though? I will get an apology from you, Eric. Hashtag Comicsgate. They're really trying to make this Comicsgate thing take off. It's very pathetic. Let's take a watch of this stupid video from dumb, fat, ugly, retard Riley.
What's up, everybody? It is I, Young Clip.
And just to be clear, it started off with him actually saying, "What's up, every bunny?" Now, I don't know what that means, but I do hate it.
What's up, everybody? It is I, Young Clipper, aka the King of the Clipperverse, and I am back at the Ripperverse warehouse near Dallas. Why, you may ask? Because Eric July still has not apologized to me. I have hidden.
Just to be clear, this isn't, I'm not speeding this up. I haven't put this on 1.5 times speed or anything. This is what he actually sounds like as a human man.
A non-zero amount of bunny stickers here in the warehouse property and here at your house.
Now, this is fascinating. Assuming he actually is just doxing Eric July's home, which I don't know how well you can see it, but there is a street number right here. I'm not going to say it. This looks like a pretty nice fucking house. This whole comic book thing seems to be working out for Eric July.
And I will come back every year until Eric apologizes to me. I have hidden a non-zero amount of bunny stickers here in the warehouse property every year.
Now remember, I was lectured by Dick Masterson on how funny works, and that it was only funny that Riley put money on Eric July's door because there was some sort of history. I don't remember what it... Does anybody remember what his stupid reasoning was on why it was funny for Riley to do it, but wasn't funny when we did it to Dick? It was some sort of entire cope fest on that. I don't recall exactly what. Now, isn't it interesting that now the bit is that he's doing something harmless to Eric July? Bunny stickers. What does that sound like? What does that remind you of? Well, again, Eric July's got a real nice home. What it reminded me of was how not nice Dick Masterson's home is. Here's the video from when I sent my Riley to Dick Masterson's absolute hovel. This looks like the place where you would see a car being repoed. And of course, they left an inflatable cow in Dick's truck. A completely harmless prank that Dick Masterson then tried to spin into himself trying to be killed and lied and said that Eric July did it to him, knowing full well that it was pod awful. So there's the cow. There's the cuck truck, by the way, the infamous cuck truck. Just nothing. It's just nothing. And there's, of course, the chicken coop and the hovel. This is a Mexican crack shack. Now, I'm trying to get this straight because Dick Masterson did tweet out Riley's tweet here. He is promoting this. So I just need to be clear on this. Is it funny when someone does a harmless sort of prank by going to your house, or is it not? Because if so, I'm ready for round two if you are, Dick. You want to see how far the rabbit hole goes? We could maybe figure some stuff out. You know, I've been talking to Eric July. I have spoken to the man before. He's very aware of PODAWFUL. It's how he knows about Juju the cow. Two can play at this game. I think Eric July seems like a great guy, by the way. I don't read his comic books. I don't read any comic books. Here's what I know about them, though. They exist. Unlike Dick's co-host Vito's comic books, which have never existed, never come out, don't seem to be real. The chicken scratches he had of them so far were leaked in a very funny way, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. Meanwhile, Eric July seems to be living in an actual Barbie's dream mansion. off of his comic books. Seems like a successful guy to me. This Black History Month, I want to pledge the only thing I know how, the only way I know how to help a brother out. Eric July, this goes out to you. Clip it, by the way. Make sure Eric July sees this. Eric July, apparently Dick Masterson sending his henchmen to your home again, doxing you live on Twitter, showing it to everybody, your street address and where you live, and all because of what exactly? You make a comic book that he doesn't like? I don't get it. So for Black History Month, I pledge to make my henchmen available to you. Okay? You want something done, Eric July, when it comes to Dick Masterson? Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. You're a busy guy. You don't have time. You're running a fucking business, and it seems to be doing gangbusters. So I want to help you out. You don't have to do anything. Just give me a wink and a nod, and we're on it. I've got my own Riley, and we can make something happen. Eric July, we're on your side. Listen, we know what's really going on when it comes to this Eric July shit. Dick Masterson is a racist, okay? Now, have we used bad language? Have we made racial jokes here in the past? Sure. Eric July doesn't give a fuck. He's a normal guy. He can take a fucking joke. What's really going on here is that Dick Masterson, his milk, his juju milk is running out and going dry when it comes to Maddox. And he needs himself a new Maddox. And he wants to attach himself to something big. He's done this before. He tried to make himself part of, I don't think it was like Anime Gate or something. What was that thing with some anime voiceover actor? Nick Rekieta was involved. Does anybody know what I'm talking about here? And he...
Vic something, I can't remember.
Magnata, Victor Magnata, or so. He's a gay murderer. And
Maz
Kanata, and this is a story for another time, okay? But he tried to attach himself to whatever gate was happening there, voiceover gate, anime gate. This is what he has to do. You know, Josh Moon wants to say, I have to involve myself into all of these different dramas and everything. Meanwhile, had no issue taking money from Dick Masterson doing the same shit. I guarantee you can go to Dick Masterson's Twitter right now and see him tweeting out to some random famous person going, you should come on my show. It's happening. I don't even have to look. I'm blocked, but it's happening. This is what he does every week, is try to get somebody to notice him, try to get some movement behind him. He doesn't have a Maddox anymore. He saw this Comicsgate thing happening. He saw this Eric July figurehead in the middle of it. Comicsgate, by the way, that's sort of like the sector, the Dabbleverse, the commentary community. Eric July is the guy at the center of Comicsgate. It's all surrounding him, and that's it. It's just these orbiters who all hate him. The difference is, in this one, this dude is successful. People seem to like him. I'm making no judgment on his comic book at all. It might be bad. It might be great. I don't know. Here's what I do know. The people who say he sucks, suck. They stink. It's Nick Rekieta, who gave his child cocaine. It's Eric, what's his name? Ethan Van Sciver, who sucked off some dude he met up with at Comic-Con behind a Wendy's dumpster. The most hollowed out human ever. Every time you look at him, it's just Riley and Vito and Dick Masterson all hate this guy. And Vito is the one that really dragged Dick into all this. But here's what Dick saw when he saw Eric July. He saw Black Maddox. And he is such a racist that in his mind, he believed that Black Maddox meant even worse Maddox. He knows his audience is racist. He knows that they'll have a better time, more fun, making fun of a black guy. The little bit of coverage I've ever even seen of him making fun of Eric July is like making fun of stuff where he's like messing up words and things. Oh, he's not a very educated person, supposedly. I don't know if any of this is true. I don't care. I know what the intention is behind it. Not in my Black History Month. Not on my watch. You want to try to do that to him. Here's what's really happening. The sickest part behind all of this. This is what was happening the last time with Riley. This is what's happening this time with Riley. And this is what Dick Masterson does every single time he involves himself in any of this shit. He has, for the past, 5-6 years. When did the lawsuit happen? Was that 2019, 2018? 6 years, let's call it. For the past 6 years, he has been doing everything in his power to try to trick some dummy online into suing him. That's all he wants. He wants lawsuit number 2. And this time, what he wants to do is countersue. He needs to make a little money. Why? Because we've seen his hovel. He lives in Barbie's dream mansion, Sean. Sorry, John. New Sean. We all saw Barbie's dream mansion. Eric July is Malibu Barbie. Dick, you are, Ken's gay friend. Okay, you come complete with cow costume, but you don't come with a mansion. It's never happened for you, and it never will. He made a pretty good chunk of change off of making fun of Maddox, and the wells run dry. And now he's saddled with $1 million-something home that looks like garbage. He's in LA, which, by the way, is burning up on fire. His home could just become ashes at any minute. And because everything is just too expensive because of this housing market, his home is now worth over $1 million. Well, yeah, so what? It's in LA. It's just the land. It's not the house. Everybody makes fun of the house. Dick doesn't have the type of capital to try to upgrade and still be an LA-based comedian, which is very important to him because remember, his dream is to be a Hollywood guy. He's Hollywood Dick. So every time he secretly sends out Riley and acts like he's got nothing to do with it, it's to provoke a response. And the response he wants is a legal one. The irony of the lawsuit with Maddox is long before that ever happened, Dick himself was involved in a lawsuit. Dick tried to sue his former employer, a place called Blue Glass. I happen to know about this. You can look up the docs on all of this stuff. It's all publicly out there. And of course, that failed. And it was a classic attempt to try to milk a little money out of a company that didn't want anything to fucking do with him anymore. Sound familiar? Mersh tried to do the same thing when he got fired from the strip club, by the way. You can look this one up. He tried to sue them for being racist. That's right. Mersh tried to claim that his former employer wouldn't hire black women and would force him to not hire black strippers. And so he sued them and lost spectacularly, lost an insane amount of money. And that was the pivotal moment that forced them to start Revenge of the Cis. That was Mersh's do or die moment because he had no money and had no job at that point. And Royce basically threw him I hate to say it, but
owns to make us feel good.
Dick's in a similar situation. He's got money. He's all right, but he's got a kid on the way. Remember that? 80s girl is pregnant. Everyone's making fun of his house. Eric July, his new Maddox, is doing better than him. And by a lot, by the way. Visibly so. You think he doesn't want to try to move into a new house? I think the one he's living in is like a 2-bedroom, by the way. Something like that. It's probably not even enough room for him to have a kid in it properly. He cares about the look, and the look has been exposed. He wants to do a lawsuit. He wants to countersue. And Eric July Despite everything that Dick Masterson is saying about him, despite the, soft bigotry of lowered expectations he has about his new Black Maddox, Eric July is not that dumb. He ain't taking the bait. And so what's going to happen is a series of escalations. This is what always happens. This is what happens in general, even when a guy is responding. But when a guy isn't responding, and when that's your fucking meal ticket, you're going to escalate. You're going to send another ton of concrete. You know what I mean? So this won't be the final thing we see of Dix Riley. It's going to get worse. He's going to get arrested again. We're going to laugh at it. And meanwhile, we're going to get away with doing the exact same shit to Dick. Because he's got no vested interest in me. It doesn't matter if I do it. In fact, he can't have people know I do it. That's why he blamed Eric July last time. It's got to be Eric July. That's the guy with the money. And Dick is jealous of the money. All right. That's been the show. Pod Awful for a day. Thank you so much to everybody for coming out. Join the Pizza Fund and get access to all of our primo content, band content, and so much more. Bonus shows, lots of things over there on the Pizza Fund. Old episodes, the works, you name it. I've had a few people, by the way, recently telling me that when they're signing up, I think people are confused about the website. And they're a little lost. There was a few people who joined for the World War episode, which, by the way, a lot of people have signed up for the Pizza Fund. Thank you so much to everybody who's done that. There were a couple of people that said they can't see it. And I'm like, I can see it. I know it's working. I know the website's working. A bunch of people, like maybe the most people ever, were watching the most recent Pizza Fund episodes. If you're having any trouble whatsoever with the site, I beg of you, reach out to me. Okay, we'll try to figure it out. I'm a guy. We have one guy who works on the site, and me. Every once in a while, I just get these comments on YouTube videos and stuff where they're like, it doesn't work. I'm like, did you never think to try to figure it out? The answer, by the way, is always, it's your fault and it's your computer. Okay, so I want the site to work for you. I promise. We're going to get everything working nice and make sure every once in a while there's a bug, but it's on your end. Reach out to me. You know how to contact me. I'm all over the internet, at PodAwful on Twitter, at PodAwful on Discord. The email is on the website. You can do this. I hope to see you again soon. We'll have a primo episode here for you very soon. Till next time, have an awful day.
Choo-choo, all aboard the Retard Express.